The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Yesterday was a Jet debacle unlike any we've seen in a long time. And you know, Joe Benigno is fired up to talk all about it. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
The Jets?
Yeah, they couldn't beat the Patriots.
You come into this house and bring up the Jets? Do you know how much disappointment I have had to live with from the Jets?
You've lived with disappointment? Are you serious? I haven't enjoyed a football season since 1969. Maybe 98 when Parcells was the coach for a year.
Get out of here.
That was good too. But that's it.
Understand, tonight is awful in here. Awful. I saw this on the schedule, Jets during the Christmas holiday. I took 4 Canadian aspirin with a little bit of codeine in it, just enough to give you that pop. Little 8% codeine never hurt anybody.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is the same old Jets. We have Aaron Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Shout out to Gator for the intro there. Appreciate everyone that tuned in to the radio show today. Had a chance to speak with Rex Ryan, who told me that he does expect to speak with the Jets about their head coach opening. We'll talk about that and much more as we say hello to our big-time guest. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe B joins us. And Joe, I know you didn't want to do this. I was able to convince you to pop on to talk about our disgusting football team. And for that, I thank you. I also want to say happy holidays, happy New Year, and thank God there's only one game left in this nightmare of a season.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Happy New Year, bro. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all of that. Look, we have hit rock bottom as a franchise. I did my podcast before. Let's be real. The Jets are now the worst franchise in professional sports. I don't even think it's debatable anymore. Don't give me the Cleveland Browns. I know they're horrible, but they were in the playoffs last year. We have the worst franchise in professional sports, the worst owner in professional sports. We're 56 years without a Super Bowl appearance. We're 14 years without a playoff appearance. We're 9 years without a winning season. We've had 5 consecutive 10-plus loss seasons. It is absolutely rock freaking bottom. And at this point now, okay, yesterday was just such a goddamn humiliation. I mean, I don't even know how to. It was just so bad. It just beyond. The quarterback sucked. Everybody sucked. One penalty after another. Sauce Gardner, who's the most overrated player in the NFL as far as I'm concerned, takes himself out again, doesn't play in the second half, and then he's complaining again in the locker room after the game. I've had it with him. I've had it with everybody. And I've been on the Rodgers bandwagon the whole time, and he stunk yesterday. There's no other way to say it. I mean, look, he missed your ball, what should have been a touchdown on that first drive of the game. He threw 2 brutal picks. He got the crap beat out of him all day. I mean, it was sacking him left and right, and that's not on him. But, he was terrible. Probably the worst game he's played all year. I don't even think it's debatable there. But I'm at the point now, I don't care anymore. It's all about they have to straighten out who is running this team. Woody Johnson cannot get it wrong this time. They have to find the right head coach GM combination. To me, it's all about the head coach. The GM can fall in line as long as they're on the same page. They have to find the right freaking head coach. They cannot, and I've said this over and over again, they cannot bring in a first-time coordinator. Can't do it. You have to bring in a coach who has had head coaching experience already in the league. Now, you know the guys I'm hot for. You know how I feel about Rex. I love Brian Flores. Now they're going to have to interview with the Rooney Rule a minority candidate as soon as they can talk to anybody that is still affiliated with a team that's playing. They should be talking to Flores. All right? I love him. He's a Brooklyn guy. He's tough as nails. He won in Miami. I don't know what happened, with Tua, whatever happened there. But he's a guy, I understand. I know he sued the league. He's a guy that would come in with a chip on his shoulder. This team needs accountability. This team needs to, have responsibility as far as what they're doing with the penalties, which are just out of control.
16 yesterday. 16. 5 personal foul penalties.
Unbelievable. One on Rodgers, which was really ridiculous. But nevertheless, what doesn't matter. Just absolutely brutal. They need accountability. This team needs to be disciplined. I think Flores would bring that. I want Vrabel. I'm good with Vrabel. Okay? No doubt. I'm good with him. I would be good with John Gruden. Now, here's a name that I had Brian Costello of the Post. I had him on my Saturday show on The Fan. Costello brought up Matt Nagy, okay, who coached the Bears, made the playoffs a couple times. I forget. Was Justin Fields his quarterback? I don't even know.
No, he had Mitch Trubisky. He had Trubisky.
Oh, Trubisky, that's right. Trubisky. How about the play yesterday if you were still watching the game? That 3rd and 11 when Trubisky throws the ball over the middle and the guy runs 100 yards for a touchdown with nobody touching him. I mean, that's when, by the way, that's when I cut out of the game. But be that as it may, Trubisky, right? That's right, Mitch Trubisky. So that's saying something. He made the playoffs twice with him. I don't love Matt Nagy. He is in Kansas City. He's working under, Andy Reid there. So you probably wouldn't be able to get him until after the Super Bowl because I don't see. To me, Kansas City is going to be the first team ever to win 3 straight Super Bowls. I don't see who's beating them when they have home field advantage. I don't buy Buffalo. I don't buy Baltimore. I don't buy Pittsburgh. The Chiefs are going to be there again. But be that as it may, I don't love Nagy, but still, I cannot have a first-time coordinator anymore. Woody Johnson has got to get this right. He cannot drop the ball on who this head coach is. And as I said, I don't even care anymore about the personnel. As much as I've been in Rodgers' corner, I still want him back. If he's gone, he's gone. And they could get rid of everybody because everybody's overrated. Breece Hall's overrated. Quinn Williams, I've had enough of him. Same thing with Sauce Gardner. We could go right on down the line. The one guy that's not overrated is Garrett Wilson. And I will say this about him. Now, there's a report out, I guess it's from Ian Rappaport of wherever he is.
NFL Network, yep.
Yeah, and wherever he is. Saying that Wilson doesn't want to come back if Rodgers comes back. Now, who knows if that's the truth, and I don't know that. But I know this about Wilson, who's done a lot of bitching. You're going to have 100 catch, over 1,000 yard, 7 and counting touchdown season. I'm sick of him crying, okay? I really am. I'm sick. I know that we suck, and I know you want to win, but I'm sick of him crying about it.
That to me is his issue,
He's not getting targets. No, but this idea he's not getting targets. He had a big fumble in the game yesterday. I mean, it wouldn't matter. It didn't matter anyway.
I think it's the frustration of just the offense as a whole. I don't think it's maybe Rodgers specific. I love Garrett Wilson. He cares. He has a high I give a what rating, and that matters to me. So even if he were to hypothetically request a trade, I wouldn't trade him. He's under contract for 2 more years in the franchise tag. Why would I get rid of this guy?
Look, Garrett Wilson to me, bro, he wants a win. It's not about not being here. He wants a win.
Of course.
And I'm sure he wants a win here. He's already invested 3 years here. He wants a win here. But this team they really need what they need. I keep hearing culture change. That makes me crazy. No, they need a karma change. The karma has to change. Aaron Rodgers came here and he didn't realize how bad the karma was with this franchise. He has been engulfed by the karma. The 4-play injury in year 1 that cost him the entire year. And then the disaster that this team has been. And has he been, part of it? Yeah. But he's not the reason that they lost 4 or 5 of these games. And you could go back to, the firing of Saleh was let's go. It's really, to me, the owner takes the biggest responsibility here. Should have never fired Saleh when he did. No matter what you think of Saleh as a coach, he should have either fired him at the end of last year or waited out the year and then fired him. Because I'm telling you right now, if Saleh would have still been a coach, they would have won more games than they did. Would they have made the playoffs? Probably not. But they wouldn't be 4-12 working on 4-13. So it's all about this hire. This hire is a must hit. If they don't get this coach right, they don't get the GM coach combination right, bro, we are looking at, I don't know how many more years of disaster. And I'll tell you right now, if you bring in a first-time coordinator, you can write it down. He'll be walking out the door again in 3 years.
Couldn't agree more. This job, no matter who they hire, is not a job for first-timers. You have to bring in someone that has already been successful in the league. There is still talent on this roster, but there is, and I know you hate the word culture, but culture, karma, whatever you want to say, there's an odor, a stench of just losing in that building. They need a leader. Joe, this is the closest I think it has ever been to what happened in 96 with Kotite, and then Leon has finally wised up and got Bill Parcells here. They need that figure to come in and restore order inside that building. That's what they need right now.
Well, and this has been the longest stretch of crummy football in the history of the franchise. Let's be honest about it. I lived through 1969 to 1981. Okay, it's longer than that now. That was a 12-year drought without the playoffs. We're going into year 15 next year.
How about a decade since a winning season? A decade since they had a winning record. It's
unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. It really is. Not only winning record, but every year, like I said, 5 straight years with 10 or more losses. What? And the year before that, they lost 9 games. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say anymore. But this is a must hit for Woody Johnson. There is no gray area. Mike Vrabel, you said Mike Vrabel, they'll be able to talk to him Monday. You know what? He should be hired Monday. And, I've heard Woody Johnson doesn't like to pay coaches. Well, the time has come now where you may have to ante up and pay big money for a coach.
When has he never paid a coach, though, or not paid a coach, I should say? Like, where's that even coming from? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? If I got to overpay to get Mike Vrabel here and keep him away from going to the Raiders, because that's where I'm hearing he's going, because Brady's got – I don't know how Brady could be broadcasting games and have a piece of the Raiders. I don't know.
Why would he want to go there, too, by the way? They're picking 8 now.
Right.
No
that's
quarterback.
Right.
You want to go to Andy Reid's division with Patrick Mahomes, where you're never going to win it every year?
No, I couldn't agree more. And they're not going to get Cam Ward or Shadir Sanders. And by the way, let me say something here. Good job by those two guys. They played in the meaningless bowl games over the weekend. And I give them credit for that, because they could have easily, and they're projected to be 1-2 in the draft. They could have easily sat it out. Ward played the first half, and then he sat out the second half. Shadir played the entire game, even though they got their rear end handed to him. And so did Travis Hunter. So I want to give those guys, and that might be the top 3 picks in the draft.
Yeah.
Okay? I want to give those guys tremendous amounts of credit, where we see these guys that never play in the bowl games because they're worried about they're either transferring or they're worrying about, getting hurt before the draft. So give tremendous credit to Sanders, Hunter, and Ward. Great job by those guys. And that shows me something, for the teams that are going to wind up drafting them, that shows me something that those guys played in these meaningless bowl games.
We're talking with Joe Benigno, his weekly spot on the show, his podcast, the Oh the Pain podcast. You heard Joe say he recorded it already, so check that out later today where you get your podcast, and you can find it on YouTube as well. If you're one of the 1,000 people tuned in right now, listening in on this conversation live, please click the like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Now, Joe, you have been about as big of an Aaron Rodgers guy as anyone. Yes. I was pro bring him back on a pay cut, which it sounds like he was willing to do. I was at least open to the idea, as long as like the next GM and coach, that's what they wanted to do. But I got to be honest with you. After that yesterday, I just almost feel like, yeah, he might still give them their best chance next year, but I don't even know if that's the case. Plus, he's another year older, and I just feel like we talk about like getting the right leadership going forward. Unless it's maybe like Vrabel, I don't know how many coaches are going to want like Aaron Rodgers to be here. Not saying he's a bad guy, just when he's here, he's the center of the universe because of who he is and his stature in the league. I don't know. Yesterday lost me as far as thinking that there was a real chance he's going to be back. I at this point, I think I'd be very surprised if he's the quarterback next year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point now. I still want him back because I fear so much that he's going to wind up in San Francisco and he's going to, have a big year with the Niners and all of that. And that's going to really.
I don't think they're going to move on from Purdy though. Like they're going to have to.
Purdy's shot. Come on, Purdy stinks.
But they're going to just get rid of him. They were in the Super Bowl with him last year.
So what? What does that mean?
I don't think
Rex Grossman went to the Super Bowl too with the Bears.
I get it. But 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers is just going to move aside like a 26-year-old Brock Purdy.
Well, I mean, I don't know how good Purdy is. I don't know. But whatever. I mean, Rodgers is going to be somewhere and probably good next year.
What if he retires too, by the way? He looks like a guy that might just hang it up.
He might. I don't know. I don't know how he feels about leaving with a bad taste in his mouth here. But I'm at the point now, as much as I still feel, I don't want to put it all on yesterday. He stunk yesterday, but he's been better than, that was his worst game yesterday for whatever. But let me just, going back to it, I don't care now. I mean, I'm at the point now, I don't care who comes back, bro. They have to get the management team straightened out. It's all about that. It's all about it. I don't care who's on the team. Get the right head coach in here, and let's go from there. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be next year. Maybe it's going to be a guy like Justin Fields. I just can't see where Sam Darnold is leaving Minnesota. I mean, they're 14-2. They may wind up with the number 1 seed in the NFC. You think that the Vikings are going to just dump him now for this unknown of J.J. McCarthy? I don't buy that. I'm sorry, I don't. So I don't think he's going to be out there. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. They probably have to draft. I love the kid from Syracuse, McCord, right? Kyle McCord. I think he's a guy you could get in the second round. I like him a lot. I would take a shot at somebody like that. I think the first round pick has to be a defensive player. I will say this. If somehow Travis Hunter, who might be the first pick in the draft in New England, if somehow Travis Hunter is there at 7, I think I take him. And I'm going to tell you this too. The kid from Boise State, the running back, I'd have to consider him too. As much as we need defensive help, if you see a player that might be a special player, even though he's not the need you're looking for, I think you got to grab him. So I'm just throwing that out there. They're sitting at 7 right now. We'll see how it goes from here. We'll see what happens. By the way, I'm very happy, and I don't know what kind of game you're going to get from them Sunday, but I'm very happy Miami needs this game. This is a game Miami has to win. Miami can make the playoffs if they win and Denver loses. That's it. That's the scenario. And they moved this game to 4:25. Did you see that?
I did. So the Jet season's prolonged for
right.
3-hour later start.
Well, they want to start the same time as the Denver game because, they want that game to mean something when it starts. Same thing for the Dolphin game, which I understand. So I would like nothing better. At least the one thing that I'd love to get as the season ends is stick it up Miami's rear end and knock them out of the playoffs. I mean,
absolutely.
We should have beat them the first time in Miami, and I don't know if Tua was playing. He didn't play yesterday. Tyler Huntley played yesterday against the absolute hideous Cleveland Browns. But, I would like to beat the Dolphins this week. I will say that. But I am at the point now where as much as I've been all in on Rodgers, it doesn't matter now. It's all about who is coaching this team. They have to get the right guy. There's no other way to say it.
You brought up the Rooney Rule earlier. I don't know if you saw this before we jumped on, Joe, but it was reported by the NFL Network that the Jets will speak with Ron Rivera about their head coach opening. Now, look, they're going to do their due diligence. I don't think he's going to.
Come on, what are we wasting our time with Ron Rivera?
I want to calm you down because they're just starting the process here. Get as many reps interviewing candidates as you want. I'll freak out if he gets the job, but I did want to inform you that Ron Rivera.
You can't hire Ron Rivera as the head coach of this team. You cannot. No. You cannot. The guy, the first minority guy, and maybe the only guy they should interview is Brian Flores.
Yes.
Forget Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera. No.
What if he was the defensive coordinator? See, that's like to me, the interesting part of like all these interviews.
Coordinator is a different story to being the head coach.
That's what I'm saying.
They got to get the right head coach in here. If Rivera's the head coach, if Rivera's the defensive coordinator under Mike Vrabel or under Brian Flores or under Rex Ryan, right? I'm good with that. I can live with that. But not him as head coach. He is not the guy to turn this franchise around. I'm sorry. No freaking way.
100%. The way I look at it is this: if you are going to hire though, that and you and I are completely aligned here. I do not want a first timer, but if they were to hire a first timer, they better have an experienced coaching staff helping that guy. Remember, Sean McVay had Wade Phillips as his DC and assistant head coach when he took the Rams job. Like, there has to be a real plan in place if they're going to go with a first timer. So that's the only reason why I mentioned
the only
maybe
first
Ron
timer
Rivera's at DC.
The only first timer I would even consider, and I don't really even consider it, is Aaron Glenn, only because of the connection to the Jets. That's the only reason I'd even think about him, but I don't want him either.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Joe Benigno, comments, questions, super chats. You brought up Rex. I had a chance to speak with him this morning, and here's part of the conversation, Joe, I want you to hear. Here's Rex talking about the Jets and specifically him being the head coach for this team going forward. Rex, it is an honor to get a chance to speak to you this morning, and I speak on behalf of every single Jet fan out there. We miss you, man. I mean, my God, do I got to start with that after yesterday?
Yeah, you know what? I think you do. I'd be honest with you, but hey, hopefully good. Better things are down the road here for this franchise. That was an absolute beatdown yesterday, and certainly doesn't represent the fan base and what this team stands for. I mean, this team's always been about fighting, and going back to the early AFL days, and there was no fight yesterday, so it was an embarrassment. I know you've talked about this job, Rex. Obviously, I think a lot of Jet fans out there would love to see you back. Have you had any communication yet with the Jets during the process? Do you believe you'll get a chance to actually sit down and get a chance to interview for the job? I believe I will, but no, I have not had any conversations with anybody within the organization, but I believe I will. Look, they're not going to bring anybody in, I'm sure, until after the season's done, and then, this is the way Woody has always operated, and, we'll see what happens, once the season's over.
Your thoughts on that? I think he spoke with Tannenbaum, and Tannenbaum gave him assurances he's going to get an interview because he, in his spot last week on the show, he really was very coy about any questions they asked, saying, I'll wait to answer that until I get the opportunity to address that with the right people. A little more forthright with me today, but I do think he's going to 100%. If they're interviewing Ron Rivera, they're definitely going to give Rex an interview.
I'll do a dance if Rex Ryan's coaching the team. I really would. I mean, they'll be accountable. The defense will be 100% better. You'll see them go after the quarterback, which they never do, which is, occasionally they blitzed yesterday on Allen. Actually, one time, I think it was Oliver got there and not hit his arm, and there was a duck that was out there, and of course, no Jet could get to it. What's new? Nope. But they would have dropped it anyway. But, I would be doing a dance if Rex Ryan's the coach. And I know there's a lot of people out there, Rex Ryan, he's this, he's that. The media doesn't like him. They never liked him. Why, I don't know. The media doesn't like anybody because they don't want the Jets to win. I've said this over and over. And let's be honest about it. Every article that they write is a negative article, and how could it not be? But they want this team to stink in perpetuity. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. So screw the media. I would be doing a dance if Rex is hired as this coach again.
Talking with Joe B. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line right here. Joe, I got to get your thoughts on the Michael Clemens play yesterday.
Let me tell you this. Michael Clemens should have been cut 2 months ago. You talk about a stiff. He's as big a stiff as there is on his football team. It really is. And then I got to watch John Franklin. I don't know if you watched the game. One of the best games of the year was Saturday. The Bengal-Bronco game was maybe the best game I've seen all year. I mean, it was up there. I mean, it was tremendous football game. And even though they lost, they assaulted Joe Burrow. They sacked him reminded me a lot of the Jet game when they sacked Rodgers 7 or 8 times in that game. And we didn't realize at the time, back in week 4, how good this Denver team was going to turn out to be. We didn't realize it. And I'm watching John Franklin Myers. What a mistake that was, letting him go. I mean, letting Myers go, letting Bryce Huff go. And let me say this, too. Did you see yesterday where Hassan Reddick was in coverage down the field?
Oh, my God.
What?
Revis Island, baby. Reddick Island.
I had to do a triple take. Is that Reddick out there? Oh, my God. Please. I mean, Thank you,
Joe Douglas. Thank you for dismantling the Jet defensive line. I mean, no Huff. No Quentin Jefferson.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
just under no JFM, and instead we get Javon Kinlaw, Michael Clemens, and Hassan
Yep.
Reddick. Stiff.
Yeah, and don't forget the other guy, Solomon Thomas. He stinks too.
That's-
You know, and let me tell you, and Quentin Williams. You know what?
He's hurt,
Give me a
Joe.
break.
He's playing. He's playing with a serious hamstring injury, is my understanding. That's the
Nah,
one thing
you
I'll
know
say.
what? He hasn't done nothing this year. You know, he made a lot of money and he stunk this year. But nobody's more overrated than Sauce. I'm I'm tired of this guy. And the fact that he even played in the second half yesterday.
He's hurt. He's
Yeah,
hurt.
I know. My ass is hurt too.
You still got all the hemorrhoids from 60 years of
I
watching.
got
this.
more hemorrhoids than you, bro. You can't. It's beyond. It's beyond.
Questions for Joe here. Fiore checks in with a super chat. Thank you, Fiore. Head coach should be one of Vrabel, Cohen, Munkin, Kingsbury, or Joe Brady. Vrabel, clear number one. No to Flores or Rex because I have no faith in them building an offensive staff. Flores blew through OCs in Miami.
I don't want these. Outside of Vrabel, every other guy's a first-time head coach. Or Kingsbury coached before. He didn't do a great job in Arizona. I don't want I don't want Munkin. I don't want Joe Brady. I don't want these guys.
Do we get Josh Allen if we get Joe Brady? Like, come on.
Right. Yeah. Joe Brady's a superstar because he's got Josh Allen as his quarterback. Give me a break. Just like Brian Dable. How's that working out? By the way, how about the Giants yesterday? You know what? You can't make it up. They dropped to number 4 with that win.
They're going to win again. They're going to beat the Eagles. The Eagles are sitting everyone on Sunday. They might win again.
Are they going to sit Barkley or are they going to let Barkley go for that record, though?
Why
Barkley
would
needs
you?
100 yards for the record, bro.
But if he gets hurt in a meaningless game, then what? Like, they need him for the playoffs.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want any of those guys except for Vrabel. That's it.
KJH says, Jets truly need to perform an exorcism of Rodgers' vibe and every player he brought with him. The vibe, the mope, the blaming everyone but himself. It all needs to go. Definitely not Nagy and Rodgers.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's happening now. Like I said, I'm down on everything now. So, whatever happens. They just got to get the right head coach. I can't, I know I'm being redundant, but it really comes down to that.
That's it. Because you can't tell me with a real coach they would be 4-12 right now.
No
How many
way.
games? How many
They
games
wouldn't
have
be
been
4-12
lost?
with Salah. I'm telling you,
No.
if Salah would have stayed, they would have won at least 3 more games this year.
I
Now,
agree.
I'm not saying they would have made the playoffs, but they would have won some more games. And the kicker killed them too. Zerline killed them too early in the year.
He was the kicker yesterday, but they were so bad that we didn't even get to see him miss another one.
Right. That's right.
Oh my! J-Boy says it took getting blown out in Buffalo to make this fan base under Rodgers and friends have to go. Thank you, Bills. I mean, I still think there's a path for Rodgers here if the right coach wants him, but I personally don't see it. I don't know if the guy wants to play, and 2, I keep coming back to the fact if you're starting with a new coach, new GM, do they want to deal with like the attention that Rodgers brings as they're trying to usher in a new philosophy, a new era, everything that goes with bringing in a new coaching staff and front office? I don't know.
Yeah. I think the only way he would be back now is if it would have to be a veteran head coach, which it better be anyway, as far as I'm concerned. That wants a win immediately, because I don't know who's the quarterback. Tyrod Taylor.
I'd bring in Tyrod and Justin Fields and have them compete. That'd be my plan right now.
Okay. Here's my thing with Tyrod Taylor. All right, it's not that you can't win games with him. The problem with Tyrod Taylor is he's going to get hurt at some point, as he always does. Say whatever you want about Rodgers. This guy's played every game this year. Every game. I'm sure he's going to play next week. Last game, maybe his last game is a Jet. Like I said, I'd love to see him stick it to Miami as he goes out the door, if that's the case. But he's played every game. Say whatever you want about him. This guy's played every game this year. So that's my concern. I guess that would be okay if Rodgers is gone, because I don't know what else the alternative is.
The options stink. That's the problem. I mean, that's why we even entertain the idea of bringing back a 41, soon to be 42-year-old.
And you can't bring in you can't draft a quarterback and have him start. That can't happen. You can't have that happen anymore. That's a mistake. That's a mistake.
The reason why I bring up Fields is because I'm looking at Baker's resurgence, obviously what Sam is doing with the Vikings, and I go, here's a guy who was a first-round pick, wasn't terrible in Chicago. It was trending up when they moved on from him. He's 4-2 this year with Pittsburgh. Like, I don't know, there's upside there. I'm not saying he's going to be great. Chances are he won't be, but I'll take my chance with a guy who's mobile and young with potential upside than, bringing in, Andy Dalton or Jacoby Brissett. Like, I know what they are. They stink. They are what they are.
I don't want that. No, I'd rather have Fields. I don't know how good Fields is. It was 4-2 with Mike Tomlin was his coach.
Yep.
Again, it all comes down to the coach. If you got the right coach in here, maybe you can win with Justin Fields. I mean, I don't think that's beyond the realm. But you got to have the right guy here. There's no other way to say it. You have to have this team is so like I said, the discipline, there's no accountability with this football team whatsoever. That has to change immediately.
Bang Mateo says, Joe, if we want the next McVay, we need to roll the dice on guys like Liam Cohen, my choice, or Ben Johnson.
I'm tired of rolling it. There's no rolling the dice anymore, bro. We've rolled the dice, and it always comes up snake eyes, okay? I can't take another guy that's going to come in here and be gone in 3 years. I can't take it. I don't want Liam Cohen. I don't want this guy Johnson. I don't want no part of these guys. You know? Yeah, you get lucky with a guy like McVay. You get lucky with a guy like O'Connell. But the Jets are not in position now to do that. They don't have that luxury anymore. I can't take a complete rebuild anymore. I got to have a legitimate head coach in here. That's it. That understands the landscape of what it is to coach this team, to be in New York, that understands what this fan base has gone through, for basically the last, 60 years, okay? Certainly the last 15. No, I can't take another first-time guy in here no more. I can't. No.
It's too big of a risk. I can't go through it. I'm with you. Like, it's New York's different than other cities too, especially the Jets. Like,
let's see this fan base. This fan base is we've been having the crap. We're the worst franchise in sports. Let's tell it like it is. We have taken the mantle for 20 years. The New York Knickerbockers were the worst franchise in sports, and Jim Dolan was the worst owner in sports. Well, that has certainly changed. When he hired Leon Rose, they brought in Tom Thibodeau. Everything began to change with the Knicks. They brought in a coach in Thibodeau who had been a head coach in the league already.
Right.
They didn't bring in some first-time freaking head coach, the Knicks. And we see they made the right moves. They brought in Brunson, bringing in Anthony Towns now, Malik Bridges, the guys they brought in here, Josh Hart. All of a sudden, things have turned around now for the Knicks, who, by the way, better win an NBA title. Anything short of that is not good enough. I'm sorry. But with that said, now that mantle from Dolan and the Knicks has been passed to the Jets and Johnson. And they have to get it right. Just like Dolan had to get it right at some point, even though it was 20 years, okay? And the Knicks fan base is different because those people will go to the game no matter how crummy the team is. It's a lot of that is about, being seen. It's a trendy place to be, okay? It ain't no trendy place to be at MetLife for Jet games. So they have to get it right now. There is no missing this time by Woody Johnson. None.
No. And look, and I've used this analogy a lot on this show and on any radio show I've done. The Knicks, their turnaround with Dolan is why, if you're a Jet fan, that's why you still have to just hope that this owner can get it right, because he's not selling the team. James Dolan never sold the team. I don't hear any Knicks fan chanting sell the team at games anymore. And the only way this changes, is we've talked about, because it's so true and these hires are so important, is getting the right football people here and then staying out of their way. Dolan hired Leon Rose and Thibodeau. You don't hear a word from him. And that's what it should be with Woody if he gets these hires correct.
No question about it. 100%.
This is a huge super chat here from Tommy Nukes. Tommy, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for supporting the show. It makes way too much sense to bring back Rex. Our last successful head coach took us to 2 AFC championship games with a rookie QB and was our head coach the last time we made the playoffs. Well respected by players, a true defensive mind, and delegator. I also do think, Joe, and you've talked about this, I think Rex has learned a lot from that first experience.
No question about it.
And
no question about it.
I have some questions with Rex. I want to know what his plan is on offense. Can he run a modern offensive scheme? Who his OC choice is? But I do know this. His son is one of the assistants on the Lions offensive staff. You think maybe Rex has an idea about some offense from those guys? Could he get one of those coaches to help him be his OC? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm not poo-pooing the idea because, it's Rex and it will be such a clown show. Like, no, what's been a clown show is everything since he's been gone. Give me a guy who won here and wants this job. There's something to that if I can't get Flores or Rabel or some of the other experienced guys we've talked about.
I'm all down with Rex, and I agree with you. He learned from what happened the first time. And Rex understands the situation here. He understands the fan base. He understands what this franchise has been for the last 56 years. He wants to win here. I don't think Rex really wants another head coaching job. I don't think he really cares outside of that. This is where he wants to win. He's got something to prove. He comes back with a major chip on his shoulder. I'm in with Rex. You know that.
Fiore says, Rex over those guys is a wild take, Joe. Love you, though.
Well, why not? Bring him in.
Let's go. Sam says McVay had to learn on the job, Vrabel or bust. Do you really think the Jets are going to be capable of finding the next Sean McVay? Like, I know
No,
that's not how you're supposed to think, but
absolutely
I have no
not.
confidence. I have no
None.
confidence.
None. Zero.
Omari says, today's my birthday. Thanks for all you do, Jake. If our Knicks can turn it around, our Jets will too. Omari, happy birthday. All the love.
Happy birthday, Omari.
Let's see. Bang Mateo says, Joe, if it comes to AR or Garrett, one stays. Who is it?
I guess it's got to be Wilson.
I mean, yeah. I don't think it's
got to be Wilson.
The media just loves to just pin these guys against each other too. Like
you got to read through that too. I mean, there's no question about it. Let's be honest.
Just brutal. All right, Joe. I appreciate you hopping on. Yesterday when I got the text from you right before I was about to go on the radio that you were numb and you couldn't do it, I was like, uh-oh. So I waited to text you. I wanted you to calm down a little.
Right,
but I appreciate you hopping on. And this was, despite the loss, always enjoyable to catch up with you.
Jake, you know I love you, man. Next week we'll, and like I said, can we beat the Dolphins this week and knock them out of the playoffs? I mean, give us something, okay? I don't want to hear about the better draft choice. Give me a break. Can we beat the freaking Dolphins and knock them out of the playoffs? Can we do that? Can we do that? That would be nice.
Rodgers going to throw touchdown number 500. You excited?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll do it. I think they'll be up for the Dolphins. You know what? I don't know why, but I got a feeling they're going to be up for this game. I'm so happy that the game means something to Miami. I got to tell you. I really am. I'm happy that the game means something to the Dolphins. I'm sure there'll be a lot of, asshole Dolphin fans there next week as well. But so even more so to stick it up their rear end and take care of business. How great would it be?
Joe? Do you have it in you? You going to go? You tried to go to the Rams game.
I wouldn't go to. I think it's going to be too cold, and it's a 4:25 game. So, that kills it right there.
I feel you. Well, Happy New Year. Hopefully it's a better year for our Jets because it's hard to be any worse.
Well, next week when we talk will be Black Monday. So that'll be a very interesting discussion that we will have. I'll tell you that.
No more Jeff Ulbrich, all right? It's over. Done.
No, Ulbrich's done. See you, Jeff. See
you later.
Joe,
all the love.
What a terrible head coach he has been. Anyway.
All the love, Joe. You're the best.
Jake, God bless. Love and happiness.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe B. in his weekly spot on the show. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Always great to get Joe on this show. Make sure you guys check out his podcast, Oh the Pain, available wherever you get your podcast. If you're new around here, join our Patreon. It's a better way to support the community. Get in the Discord today, I guess there's 2 days left in December. We will add your name to the intro. If you sign up for the Patreon before the month is over, just $5 a month, so less than a cup of coffee, you get 20% off all items in the merch store, Discord access, bonus shows that are not on YouTube, and you get yourself some perks like our Asmaniac Knicks game group buy that I plan on announcing sometime later this week. So check that out. If you're a Knicks fan, Jet fan, you want to hang out with us, we'll have info there for Patreon people exclusively first in that Discord channel. Stay tuned for that. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Cincy Matt with a super chat. Jake, props to you for being able to keep this show rolling and entertaining with how miserable this team is. Until Burrow, all I knew was misery. They need to keep swinging on quarterbacks no matter what. Yeah, I mean, look, the way I look at it is like this, Cincy Matt. Someday I truly hope it's all worth it. I've watched the Lions turn it around. Your Bengals have certainly turned things around. I was in Houston when the Texans were on their third coach in 3 years and were an unmitigated disaster. There's been worse situations. This owner, as bad as he is, and I get it, he's the same owner that from 2000 to 2016, they never had back-to-back losing years. He's the same owner that in 2001, they made the playoffs. 02, playoffs. 04, playoffs. 06, playoffs. 09 and 10, playoffs. So he's not selling the team. So just hopefully he could identify football people that could turn this around. Otherwise, what are we talking about? Dan the Jet fan says, last time we eliminated Miami, we won 10 games in 2015. I'd love to stick it to Miami. I'm with Joe. Here's where the Jets are, by the way, in the tankathon. They're at 7 right now. I mean, why not? I hope Tua plays too. Put Tua out there in the cold. If they lose, will I be that upset? No. If they win, will it mean a lot to me? No, but it'd be nice to just end the Dolphin season. we'll see. I mean, the reality is if the Dolphins go out there and win, I don't think they're going to get into the playoffs because I don't think the Denver Broncos are going to lose to the backup Kansas City Chiefs at home. I mean, that's the scenario for them. Denver just needs to win against a team of backups, right? Because Mahomes and company, they're not going to play for Kansas City. It's not going to happen. I also want to mention this. We're going to do the raffle during our second show later today at 4 p.m. So if you want to gift memberships, this is truly the final show. You could do so if you want in to win any of the prizes. We have 270 raffle tickets in to win not one, but 2 Super Bowl championship rings from Joe Willie Namath here, the replica rings. All right. We have the Rodgers jersey, the $50 Copper Johns gift card, the Wayne Corbett rookie card, items from the merch store, you name it, a bunch of items raffling away as we've done all month long on our second stream today, some point around 4 or 5 o'clock today. So that is the latest with the raffle. So for those asking, there you go. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We'll take some of your calls here. I will stay on and find out what's cooking. Ladies and gentlemen, Rich is first up today. Hello, Rich.
Hey, Jake. How's it going?
What's up, Rich?
Nothing, man. I'm trying to be optimistic about the Jets. I'm a big fan of your show. And, one of the things I think is it can't get much worse as a Jets fan, but my greatest fear is just that we lose our young talent. I think we have a lot of talent. We could maybe attract a good coach. I hope we could attract a good GM. I'm just really afraid that we could lose our stars. And I hope that we have the cap space to do it. What are your thoughts? Can we keep these guys long-term if we get their coach right?
Say that again. You said that. What was your question about getting the coach right? Sorry, I missed the beginning there.
So if we get a good coach that can help turn around the culture, do we have the cap space long term after we trade it for guys like Devontae and Reddick? Do we have the cap space where we can actually sign guys like Garrett and Sauce if we can turn around the ship with the culture? You think we okay? So we really need to get the coach right and the GM right, which is going to be hard with our ownership, obviously. But if we do that, you think long term we could actually lock these guys up long term?
Yeah, absolutely. I would expect Garrett Wilson to sign an extension this offseason, to be honest with you. I really do. So
I really hope that's the case.
100%. They're actually going to have if they just cut their losses with Rodgers, yeah, they'll have to deal with the dead cap for 1 year, $49 million. But then you clean your books for 2026, which should be the goal if you're moving on from Rodgers anyway. So they have salary cap space. The cap goes up every year. You're not paying a quarterback big money on this team right now after one more year. So the extensions for some of the guys you mentioned, the young ascending players on this team, that wouldn't even kick in until 2 years from now if you do it this offseason, right? Or if you let them play out their 4th year and then sign them, then you would basically extend them out, 5th-year option plus the years of the extension. There's a bunch of ways that you could create cap space and be able to keep your good players. You just
all right, so we got to get a guy like Vrabel in here then to turn the ship, and then there's actually hope that we can keep these guys. That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, 100%. Just get rid of your good players.
Question for you. So I'm really worried about Garrett. I think we need a quarterback. This isn't considered a strong quarterback class, but if you draft a guy like Jalen Milroe, I think that has high bust potential. I don't know if I like it, but if you sit him for a year, maybe that could work. What are your thoughts on the quarterbacks? Do we need to get a quarterback high this draft, or do we push it down the line, try to get a guy like Fields? I can't figure out the answer. I keep going back and forth on this one.
I would not draft a quarterback in the top 10. I just don't look at this class and feel like there's anyone deserving where the Jets are going to end up picking that I would take. However, I would seriously consider trading back into the end of the first round and taking a guy like what the Ravens did, for example, with Lamar. Then you get the 5th-year option on the quarterback, so there's additional flexibility there, big picture. Or I take someone on day 2, right, in the 2nd round or 3rd round. But no matter what they do in the draft, I will not start any rookie week 1 under any circumstance. There's no way I'm doing that.
We can't do that. Please, for the love of God, let that not happen. Thanks a lot, Jake. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for calming my fears. You have yourself a good one, man.
Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate that. Dick Chimney's burner in the house. Well, I always hunt for the silver lining in it all. Weren't we all worried we'd lose Ulbrich last year and he would take a head coaching position and succeed? Yeah, I always thought that was funny. Oh my God, we're gonna lose Obrick. It's like, okay, that's a good problem to have. It's like the people who tell me, well, you don't want to hire Mike Vrabel because if he does well, his OC is going to be poached again for the third time, and then what do you do then? That sounds like a good problem to have. I'd sign up for Mike Vrabel's first 4 years that he had in Tennessee. 3 playoff appearances, 9 wins or more, 1 seed one of the seasons. Oh my God, Matt LaFleur and Arthur Smith got hired away. Great. I'll take that over what I've watched for now 14 years of no playoffs. Dan says, go Knicks. That is all. Thank you for your time. Go Knicks, man. Knicks should give the Jets some hope. That's all I really got for you. God. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your phone calls right now. We check in with one of our wiser callers. Connor Long is next. Hello, Connor.
Jake, how you doing?
No school today, Connor?
No, I have the rest of the week off. So I had last week
baby.
off, and then I have this week off. So I could talk about the drubbing loss yesterday. It was absolutely brutal. Rodgers, no touchdown. Tyrod comes in garbage time. He scores the 2. Jake, did you see the stat from Seth Walder of ESPN about Rodgers' QBR yesterday?
Yeah, it was the lowest since a game I'm pretty sure I was at, the Davis Mills performance.
Yeah, just crazy. Crazy the way he played. The offensive line certainly didn't give him any help. I went back and watched the tape. Something I noticed that I think that was downplayed a bit was
some kids play video games when they're off from school. Connor Long of 13 years old is watching the tape. You probably watch more tape than Obrick does.
Thanks. Yeah, I noticed Tippmann's snap accuracy was a bit off, especially when Tyrod came in during garbage time. There was one that actually went over his head that Tyrod had to go back and recover, but a lot of them were high and outside. So that's just something I noticed. I wanted to get your thoughts. Obviously Joe B didn't like Ron Rivera. I want to get your thoughts on Rivera. I put him as an underrated head coach candidate. I would love him as a DC. I wouldn't be very, very disappointed with him as a head coach. I mean, he's a 2-time coach of the year. When he was a rookie head coach with the Panthers in 2011, he inherited a 2-14 team, and then he brought them to the playoffs the next consecutive 4 years. I mean, I wouldn't mind him. What are your thoughts there?
I want nothing to do with Ron Rivera. It'd be his third opportunity. I mean, he had like 6 losing seasons in a row, like as a head coach. Like he made the playoffs with the Commanders.
A few of them, all 4 of them were with the Commanders when Taylor Heineke and Sam Howell were his quarterbacks.
I get it, but like I don't know. I want no part of it. If we're gonna hire Ron Rivera, then get me Rex Ryan, who actually wants this job and to me would make way more sense than Ron Rivera if we're gonna hire a retread defensive-minded coach.
Now, would you take him as a DC?
Depends who the head coach is. If it's a
Vrabel.
young offensive coach, yeah. I mean, I don't think Vrabel would want Ron Rivera, but if that's his choice, Vrabel could. If they hire Mike Vrabel, he could pick whoever he wants on his staff because you have faith in the guy because he's done it before. Because the guy's the most accomplished guy you're going to hire. So give me whatever Vrabel wants. But if you tell me they hire like Liam Cohen or someone who's a first timer and they want Ron Rivera as their DC, like I'm not against it because at least you have experience there. But I don't know. Nothing about Ron Rivera screams, yep, I want him associated with the Jets.
Okay, now I looked at Tyrod's numbers last season with the Giants. I watched all of his snaps from yesterday. First off, last year's accuracy metrics were significantly better than Rodgers has been this season. He rarely turns over the ball. He looked very mobile yesterday. I understand, prevent defenses, but he showcased his mobility last year. He put up all those numbers. I think the Giants were dead last in PFF pass blocking grade and receiving grade. So he did great things even when his supporting cast gave him no help. What are your thoughts if the Jets potentially roll with Tyrod? You mentioned Fields. I'm a fan of Fields. My concern, though, is I'm not going to give him a multi-year deal. If he's going to come here, I think it's on a 1-year deal. What are your thoughts if, Tyrod, a guy who's been injury-prone his whole career, you bring him in and then possibly have a training camp competition with a guy like Andy Dalton or Jacoby Brissett, Jameis Winston, all 3 veterans are free agents. They battle it out, and then let's say Tyrod goes down, then you have the next man up there.
I would sign Fields to a 1-year deal, which is all he'd be getting, by the way. Like Sam Darnold signed for a 1-year deal. Baker Mayfield signed for a 1-year deal when he was originally with Tampa. That's kind of how it goes. I like Fields for what I said to Benigno earlier in this episode. Fields to me is young enough where we don't know what he is definitively. Like no one saw this year coming from Sam or what Baker did with his career resurgence. So I'm not saying that's going to happen for Fields. It probably won't, but I'll take a chance. So if you tell me Fields and Tyrod is the quarterback room, and you let him compete, I'm good with that. And then you figure out the quarterback for 2026 if it's not Justin Fields, because Tyrod is 36. He's not your long-term answer. I like Tyrod, Connor. He always gets hurt. So it's misleading to say, well, look at these numbers, this or that. Like, he's a check-down merchant, and he's always injured. So I do not look at Tyrod Taylor as like a long-term option. He could be the bridge with a legit backup behind him, because if they draft someone in the second round, they're still going to need a Fields like on a quarterback on the team, because I don't want that rookie playing. I don't want them to have to be thrown to the wolves out there when Tyrod Taylor suffers his typical injury 5 games into the Jet season next year.
Now, Jake, who do you think gives the Jets a better chance to win next season? Tyrod Taylor or Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know if it matters. You got to tell me who the play caller is.
Offensive. Let's say Liam Cohen is the offensive play caller, and he gets the head coaching job.
I mean, if Rodgers was actually willing to learn a new scheme, I still probably would favor him, because then you get Devontae. So, but I don't really think it matters. If they moved on from Rodgers, I'm good with it. You know, I probably think that's where we're headed anyway.
Yeah, I think Rodgers is out. I think Tyrod, he's going to be on the roster no matter what next season. So I think he's going to be able to, fight for that job. But the Jets are in a really weird spot because they still have talent on this roster. It's not like, they're kind of in between potentially punting on next season, which I don't think is the option and settling for 4 wins. But also you look at the talent they have, you bring in a coach like a Mike Vrabel who has experience. He's able, turn teams into winning cultures. There's potential that this team could be a playoff team next year. It's crazy to think.
I mean, why not? Well, look what the Chargers have done. Look what Denver's done. Like, it's coaching. Daniel Jones just went to the playoffs 2 years ago and won a playoff game with Brian Dable. And now Dable might be fired, but it just shows you every year there's always that surprise team. Like, why are the Jets, who have 4/5 of their offensive line under contract, with their average age 25 years old or younger, have a number one receiver, have a pretty good running back room? Why would the Jets, who then still have some talent on defense under contract, like Jermaine Johnson, McDonald, Quinnen, Quincy, Sauce, Michael Carter, etc., why would you just give up on next year? Like, you know what I mean? Oh, they could win 4 games next year and get the quarter. Are we sure? Look how many bad teams there are in the NFL. The Jets are 4-12 right now, and they're picking 7th. Think about that. There's no guarantee that they would have any chance of even getting a top 3 pick to get the quarterback next year. So who knows? I'm trying to win as many games as possible and trying to make the playoffs, something that in your lifetime you have never seen. You were not born yet the last time the Jets made the playoffs, which is a disgrace. So I'm trying to win as many games as possible and end the longest playoff drought in sports.
There we go. You gotta get into the playoffs. Now the question's starting to become if this team just goes full rebuild mode, which I don't think they need to. Let's say next year fails though, and it's another 4-win season. They want to just tear it down and rebuild it from the bottom. There's a chance I won't see a playoff game until I'm legally an adult. So it's crazy to think. It's an absolute mess right now. But
when are you legally an adult? Is that 18?
18, yes.
It's 18. Interesting.
I'm 13 now, so 5 more years until.
Jeez. Yeah, it's brutal. It's your whole life. I mean, the best quarterback season you've seen is probably this or the McCown year, which is insane.
Probably this season. As crazy as it sounds, just based on the record, Rodgers is top 10 in touchdowns right now. I think he's 11th or 12th in yards, which is crazy to think. And also, just one more thing about yesterday's game. It wasn't like the Arizona game, where I felt like in the Arizona game, that was a complete blowout, obviously 30-6. I felt like we were out of that game and boom. I wasn't even watching the fourth quarter, I don't think. Compared to this game, it didn't feel like a blowout. I think a lot of it is because the offense was having lengthy possessions, but they simply couldn't finish. I that was just something I noticed because, yes, it was 40-14, 40-0 when Rodgers came out of the game, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like the Jets were kind of in the game really until the fourth quarter. It was just that weird feeling.
Yeah, I agree with you, Connor. Good call. All right,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Enjoy the day off from school, and continue watching the tape. All right, take a hard look at it, Jeff Ulbrich style. Okay,
I will for sure, and I'll make sure Michael Clemens. He said he gave some Clemens quote today. That was funny. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was some crazy Clemens quote. So yep, I'll continue looking at Tyrod Taylor's tape and see if he could be the starter next season.
You got it, ladies and gentlemen. Connor Long, 13-year-old child prodigy in sports broadcasting, folks. Phil writes in, Rodgers is washed, and I think he'll retire. Do you think Adams would restructure and stay if that happens? Phil, I think, honestly, that's probably what we should be rooting for at this point, right? Rodgers retires. Devontae willing to stay. Is it likely? No, I don't think it's likely. Would I try? Yes, I would try and keep Devontae Adams. He still could play. He's really good. And you have no receivers other than Garrett Wilson. I mean, they got to completely revamp this receiver room. Another brilliant job by Joe Douglas, right? Every receiver pick besides Garrett has not gone the Jets' way. Really, every free agent signing, too. Has there ever, seriously, are we going to blame Woody and Brick for that? Was Woody Johnson saying, hey, go sign Corey Davis? Hey, go draft Elijah Moore? Hey, go draft Denzel Mims? Hey, go trade up for Malachi Corley, who can't even get on the field? But let's just blame the owner. Woo! It's all his fault. It's all Brick Johnson's fault, baby. Has nothing to do with the GM who's 30 and 64. Nothing to do with the head coach who was 20 and 36. I mean, I can't, man. All right? That's what drives me nuts. It's just Woody. It's all his fault. And it's like you absolve Joe Douglas of any responsibility. That's ridiculous. Oh, it just drives me nuts. Have you seen this receiver room? They're going to cut Lazard. Devontae's probably not here. So you have Garrett Wilson and Xavier Gibson. Let's go. We're winning a lot of games with that. It drives me nuts. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line around here. We're presented by Underdog. Football game tonight. Lions, Niners. Get your picks in. Promo code Asman. If you've never used Underdog before, new customers, right now they're offering a $1,000 deposit and get up to that in bonus cash. So check it out. Underdog, download the app right now to your phone and use that promo code Asman. Get your picks in. Because the Jets stunk yesterday, my Underdog picks all did not win. Really just needed Breece Hall to get a couple more rushing yards, but nope. Why would we run the football when it's working so well early in the game? It would make too much sense. Joe the Jet writes in, I lost all hope. I will never see the Jets win. Yeah, probably not, Joe. Probably not. But we'll still be one day hoping that will change. I don't know. It can change. It comes down to getting the right coach and general manager here, man. That's it. More of your calls right now. Reminder, raffle on our second show this afternoon. So if you want to gift the membership for your chance to win the Super Bowl ring, I got 2 of them that we'll raffle away. The Rodgers jersey, which I don't think as many people are that intrigued by these days after yesterday, but we still will give that away. Merch store items, Copper Johns, and I see my dad's in the chat. We'll give away another Gustbuster umbrella. Genergy won the last one, so we'll do another one. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Nathan. Hello, Nathan.
Hey, Jake.
What's up, Nathan?
I think that the next GM should be kind of long, and I think that hopefully won't have to live 72 years of his life and only see the Jets win once. But I'm going to make a comment that I might get blasted for, but if you go back 5 years or 6 years and look at the type of roster we had 6 years ago, I think that Douglas changed the whole roster and changed the whole team around in his first 4 or 5 years. This year, he did a terrible job by blowing up our D line, but on the whole, with the draft picks that he made, Garrett Wilson, Quinn Williams, Sauce Gardner, these are 3 long-term Jets that, hopefully we can win. But my view is that I'm totally done with Rodgers and Adams. We should have a quarterback who goes under center and run the ball downhill. I am so tired of us having 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 and going on a shotgun when we have a solid O-line and 3 good running backs. I almost fell off my chair when I heard that Joe B said that the Jets should draft a running back in the first round. That's crazy. We have 3 solid backs. But I think that we should go with like somebody like Fields, and as kind of long said, give him a 1 year, draft a quarterback in the second or third round. We have Taylor under contract for next year, and I think that if we had a type of team that ran the ball, we could win 10 games.
I'll tell you what, I agree. And that's, I think, what's so disappointing, Nathan, about this offense. I thought they were going to really rely on Brees and Braylon Allen, and they were going to be a run-first team, and you weren't going to ask Aaron Rodgers to have to be one of the leaders in pass attempts this year. Like it makes sense if the Jets were getting killed every week. Outside of yesterday, they haven't been blown out in very many games all season. So the idea that Rodgers needs to throw the amount of times he throws, to me, is crazy. Get a real offensive line coach, run game coordinator, and run the football with Brees, run the football with Braylon Allen, run the football with Isaiah Davis. Like, that to me should be a huge strength of this team. Control the time of possession. Honestly, say whatever you want about Rex, but he had the right idea with Mark Sanchez. Ground and pound worked. That was the right approach. And I thought that was going to be something, not to that extent with Rodgers, but I thought they were going to be a run-first team to set everything up. And they just completely abandoned the run. And a lot of that, I think, is because the scheme stinks. Rodgers is always checking out of plays. And it's so frustrating. And I hope a real coach could come in and maximize some of the talent they do have. I think Brees is really good. The fact that he has yet to have a game this year with 20 carries or more is mind-boggling to me.
I think that Brees is probably within the third or fifth best back in the whole league. But let me ask you this. If Rodgers, decides to hang it up, what is the cap ramifications? Does it help the Jets more if he hangs it up, as opposed to them cutting him?
It's $49 million against the cap either way. If he retires,
either way, so it's 33 and 16.
They could split it up over 2, or they could just take it all in 1 year. I would just take it all in 1 year. Honestly, that's what I would do. Yeah, because I already have Tyrod under contract, and if I'm signing Justin Fields, that's not going to hurt your cap. Or if I draft someone, that's not going to matter. I take it on the chin, 1 year, it's fine. And then guess what? You could go out there and have a clean cap sheet for 2026 as you start to really maybe add to your team around a rookie quarterback, or some of those extensions for Garrett and Sauce. They start to kick in. That's how I'm looking at it. Like, look at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are carrying like an $80 million cap charge for Russell Wilson, and they're going to make the playoffs. So like, it's not a death sentence. They have to deal with that for 1 year, right? That's what the Jets need too.
But wouldn't it help the Jets next year if they only took a $16 million hit next year as opposed to a $49 million hit? Because if we want to win next year, I mean, $33 million in cap space next year is a really big number.
Yeah, it's not a death sentence though. It's not like you can manage it. Like, the Jets have like over $50-something million of dead cap this year with all the moves that have gone wrong, all the void Douglas has put in some of these contracts here. So that's it. I mean, you deal with it. It is what it is.
Right. Okay, well, Jake, you're the best. Thank you for the content. And I listen to watch every show, and being an older guy who is just obsessed with the Jets. I hope that in my lifetime, which who knows how much longer it is, I
don't
hope,
say that, Nathan.
I mean, listen, Jake, I've like waited 56 years. I don't have 56 years left. Probably you don't even have 56 years left. The only person who has 56 years left is Connor. So we should make him his GM. But thank you, Jake.
Nathan, have you called the show before? You're a first-time caller? You have, okay.
Second time.
Second time. Got it. Well, great call, Nathan. Call back anytime. All right, I appreciate it. I'll tell you what, I hope I have 56 years left. After this year, I don't know. I mean, this season has taken years off my life. Irreparable damage has been done to the fan base and my life expectancy, unfortunately. Ralphie in the house with a super chat. Ralphie, thank you. Shout out to Ralphie. He crushed it on the dance floor at the Cachopo wedding a couple of weeks back. Sources tell me, a.k.a. me, because I was there. Joe B is killing the media for hating on the Jets, and then he dogs Quinnen, who's one of the hardest working Jets when he's on the field. Quinnen and Quincy are building blocks on the D with Sauce, JJ, and McDonald. I love Joe. I think he's too hard on Quinnen. He's clearly playing through a hamstring injury. That's obvious. And Sauce is trying to battle it out. I love what Sauce said after the game yesterday. Sauce wasn't taking himself out of the game. I don't think Sauce should play. They should shut him down. I think it's silly he's even out there. I respect him wanting to be out there, but let Joe be Joe. Joe's just pissed like everyone else. You know, you can't tell me that Sauce Gardner won't be back to being like the Sauce Gardner of old with a real head coach coming in. J-Lock writes, and I met Pete Alonso at the Rangers Lightning game Saturday. Coolest dude. Now, J-Lock, I am curious. Did you ask him about his free agency? What's the deal? I know all the Met fans out there want to know. You let us know. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll continue to cut the line around here. More of your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob V is next. Hey, Rob.
My man, what's going on? Good morning, Jake.
What's up, Rob?
What's up? I didn't really want to call this morning. I'm sick as a dog, but at the request of the chat, especially Jay Graves and Rich, we're going to go in. So I'm still looking for all the run it back people. Where are they? They're on milk cartons right now. Where's all the run it back people?
What do you want me to speak for them, Rob? I don't know. I can't speak for other callers.
No, you could, because you were one of them. You and Joe.
I mean, do you listen to the show or do you have a hard time hearing, Rob?
No. You were a run it back.
No.
2 weeks ago against the Jaguars.
No, I was not.
And then you called me stupid for saying.
No, that's not what happened,
Rob.
Rob.
You called me stupid, Jake.
Oh, here
for
we go.
Telling you that.
No, Rob, that's not what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
No, goodbye. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me, Rob. That's not happen at all. Oh my God. Where do I even start? Find me where I said I'm bringing Rodgers back no matter what. Find me that. You won't find it because it didn't happen. Where's all the I told you so? I really don't even want to address it, but I will. If you remember, after when the Jets came back from the bye, I said there were 6 games that I thought Rodgers could still play himself onto the team. And then he had that awful game, I thought, against the Seahawks, and I didn't see it. And then he put together, I thought, 2 really good games against Miami. They should have won that one, and the Jaguars game. And I said I was open to it. And I said, before we go crazy, can we see what it looks like when they're back in the cold and what happens against the Rams and specifically the Bills? Like, go watch the post-game show from the Jaguars game. I was very much open to the idea. And my big thing is whether I want Rodgers back or not, I've been consistent in saying that I don't want Woody making that decision. And I want to see the head coach and the GM that they hire make that choice, make that decision. Like, come on, man. Where are all the run it back people? Like, give me a break, Rob. You call him with that nonsense. That's lame, dude. And also, any Jet fan who wanted to bring Rodgers back, like, you're going to like criticize them for having that opinion? Guess what? Opinions can change with new information. Maybe that's something we should do as a society. Not just be dead set on one idea, actually be open to something. I know I certainly was. Why would I get rid of Rodgers if he had played well down the stretch and followed up what he did against Miami and Jacksonville, and let's say played well in that Ram game or played well yesterday? What? Like, why? Because I was get rid of him after Seattle, that's it? Like, guess what, man? Information changes things. I'm not going to be so stubborn to think that, oh, my God, hey, how could I have thought the possibility of bringing Rodgers back? It was a legit conversation. It was. It absolutely was. I see, Rob, you wrote in the comment you were one of them after the Jaguars game. Go look at it. Look, here's what's great about the show. Everything I say is recorded. You go back and watch the Jaguars postgame show. I'm pretty sure Neil, who's big run it back with Rodgers, called in. And I was like, I want to see it now against the Rams. I want to see it against the Bills. Like, I know what I said, man. I'm on ESPN New York. at a bare minimum 4 hours a week, giving opinions that everyone can hear there and opinions for hours at a time here on this show. You can go back and check. Like, so I stand by everything I said. This is not some of your gotcha that you think it is. I am pro letting the next regime decide. Going into this Bills game, I was like, if Roger were to take a pay cut, you could convince me he's their best option. But I just think it was so bad yesterday, and just seeing the body language and just seeing everything and where this team's at right now, the way it's like one thing to lose to the Bills, right? I expected them to lose. But when that happens, I don't know. I can't see it anymore. So now I wouldn't bring him back, right? But I was very much like, wait and see, because I like Rodgers. I appreciate what he did coming here, taking a $35 million pay cut. I think he was truly in it for the right reasons coming here and watching the Netflix doc and reliving last year and all that. Like, I really wanted this to work. So before we just completely dismiss any idea of it, I wanted to see it over a 17-game sample size. But now at this point with 16 games, like, it is what it is. But, like, this is not some gotcha. And, like, to come at any Jet fan, like, I know Neil or Rob or whoever out there that wants Rodgers back or Benigno, like, come on, man. That's just weak. Julio says, thoughts on Ron Rivera to coach? No, thank you. I don't have any issue with the Jets interviewing him, but no, thank you. JV says, Rodgers 2025, Cope Harder. Here's what we're going to do, JV, because I can't stand your nonsense. We're going to thank you for your service. And we are going to say farewell. We'll see you tomorrow.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
God. Did we miss any super chats here? I don't think we did. All right, more of your calls right now. Let's say hello to the Hamburger. What's up, Hamburger?
What's up, Jake? I don't know, man. I don't see you as an Aaron Rodgers truth or anything like that, man. You made it pretty clear. I think the same way that most of us did. We want to see it finish out. As of last week, yeah, I wanted him back. If he was going to take a team friendly deal and cut back his pay, but guess what? After this week, opinions change when new facts are presented, and what we all saw this week was pretty bad, man. Enough to make me be like, I don't know. Even on a reduced salary, it's tough to swallow what happened this week. And I was so pissed yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch the show. I was too busy on the new Meta Quest I got for the kids, playing with them with that on roller coasters. But holy shit. I didn't even know what I was watching yesterday. For them,
you watched the team quit in the second half is what you watched. You watched a team that has their bags packed, that's ready for the offseason to start.
So bad. I watched Sauce at the end of the game, his press conference. I was impressed with that. I was impressed that he called out some of his players. I gained a lot of respect for him for that. He took himself out. He was injured. I give him credit for even coming in and playing. But I didn't agree with Joe B on Williams. Listen, he's on a shitty defensive line. It's very easy to double and triple team him with the guys that we have on the left and right of him. We don't get pressure. It's I don't take anything out of Williams' performance this year. I think he's fine. He's playing hurt too, but man, what I seen yesterday, I had to keep a bull next to me, man. I think at this point I'm a little too old to have the Guinness Book of World Records longest hair by the time the Jets make the playoffs, but I don't know. I won't live 40 years for my hair to get that long. But man, I don't know what to say, man. I can't wait for next week to be over. The fact that we have to play 3 hours later is killing me. It's just let's get to
how I feel. I'm on the radio at whenever the Ranger game ends, and I think they play at 2:30 or 3 Sunday. So I think there's a real chance I'm doing the last hour of my radio show as the Jet game is going on, which just sounds like a nightmare waiting to happen. And I got to make sure I don't get fired for what might come out of my mouth during a Jet game. So I'm worried about that.
Listen, I don't think we're going to win next week. I don't think we're going to win at all. I think we're going to get stomped out. I think all the players are going to be even worse giving up next week. Even in front of the hometown, I don't think anybody's going to be there. So I don't know, man. I can't wait for the baseball season. I'm waiting here in my door for my new Soto jersey to come in that I ordered. It's supposed to be here today, so that'll bring a smile to my face. But yes, we're waiting to hear. Did Pete Alonso say anything? Did he say anything?
I asked in the chat. I don't think the guy who said he saw Pete at the game on Saturday responded. So if that dude is still watching the show, J-Lock, let us know.
I was big on him coming back. I really wanted him back, but the further along it goes, the more I think the Mets aren't going to sign him because I think he wants too long of a deal. And
I just don't know where he's going that is going to be a better situation for him. But you are right. The longer it goes, there's always that like, hey, Freddie Freeman, the Dodgers swoop in at the last second type of thing that could happen here.
Yeah, I think he wants too long of a contract, and the Mets have that first baseman up and coming, and they don't want to. They don't want to stretch out a long contract with Pete when he's on his decline. I mean, he is declining. We all see it. He's not as good as he once was when he was younger, but still, I'd like him back. We'll see what happens, but no more than 3 years for him. I'll take
Hamburger.
So, but listen, guys, have a great day, Jake. Thank you for having me on. Go have some lunch with my kids and enjoy. The day.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hamburger checking in. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. John Gotti says, I agree. Jake does waffle a lot, but that's all media. Where am I waffling on Rodgers? I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Please tell me. I think I've been very consistent with Rodgers. I wanted to use these last 6 after the bye for evaluating his future, whether I thought he should be brought back or not. I thought he stunk against Seattle after the bye. He was very good against Miami, very good against the Jaguars. And I was certainly open to him coming back, especially when he mentioned the pay cut. Because then I thought, well, you get Devontae too. But I also said, I feel like I'm going to have to go back and actually pull the tape just to prove this. Let's see what he does against the Rams. Let's see what he does against the Bills. I specifically brought up the fact that it's not going to be 70 degrees and sunny in those games. How would he look? I mean, it's just whatever, man. You can't make everyone happy. Hit the like button. There's over 1,000 people in here right now. And please make sure if you're not subscribed to my channel that you do so immediately. We're presented today by Huga House. Get a Huga House hat. 15% off when you use promo code Asman at checkout. Buy one hat. You get the second hat from Huga House. 15% off. That's HUEGAhouse.com. Promo code Asman at checkout for 15% off. Buy one hat. Second hat is 30% off. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to check in with one of the most accomplished sports broadcasters in all of entertainment. He is someone that can electrify an audience at any point in time. He is someone that resides from the great state of Vermont.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. That was pretty funny about that sportscast. I couldn't stand watching the game. The fourth quarter, we couldn't wait to get to the fourth quarter of that game. It was horrible. It was crap. And you know that Clemens guy?
I
think, why the hell did he jump on those people? Is he, you know what, floats the wrong way? I guess he does.
Is he what?
Because he likes smacking people in the ass.
Did you just insinuate that Michael Clemens is a homosexual, Bobby?
Yes, I did.
Wow. I wouldn't go there. I think he's just a very unintelligent football player.
Well, he sucks. You got to get rid of him. Got it. Well,
yeah, but you're saying he sucks. Like, I know what you're saying. I don't think that's
no. Now he really sucks the way he plays. You can't jump on that pile and get away with that. And then Sauce, I think you're right. He's hurt.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's got a hamstring injury. That's obvious.
Aaron Rodgers is hurt. He should have sat his ass down a long time ago. Who else should go? Who's another person should go? Who you like? Who should go?
There's like 3 players on the defensive line that I would keep, and then everyone else has got to go.
Yeah, you got to get some more people in there. Yeah, so is that guy Omari still in here?
I don't believe he is, but Jay Quest writes in that Michael Clemens was trying to hump like he humped you. This is a good point.
Yeah, but you didn't go over me. You did it next to me.
Oh, no.
You didn't jump all over me like he did. He jumped over guys like he enjoyed it. So that's fine. So Amari, is his birthday today. Can I sing to him? He gave you.
It is. I don't know if he's in the chat right now, so I
I
don't
know,
want you to.
but he could see it later. He gave you a super chat.
Let's make sure that he's watching the show and you can sing for him. I don't want the singing to be a waste.
All right. So yeah, no, that's another good point. Yeah. So, did you get my DM this morning?
I did not.
I didn't know you would have Joe Benigno on, so I suggested you have Connor Long.
Well, we got the best of both worlds. We got Joe B on and Connor called in.
Yeah, I know, but he should have been co-host. That's what I said.
He's co-hosted a show before.
He did? I don't even remember that.
When I was in London. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, London, right. Yeah, because you did it in that hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, now, yes. That all brings it back. That's when Aaron Rodgers should have sat his ass down because he got hurt in London. The dumbass wants to play all the games looking cool. And
Can't
our
put that
team
on him. That's on the head coach not intervening. That's why they need real leadership.
Yeah, well, I think if I was the head coach, I would have sat his old ass down to begin with and brought in Tyrell Tilley. He looked pretty good, but he played against the second team defense, didn't he?
Hurtis writes in, stop insinuating there's anything wrong with being gay. That's hurtful and stupid. Michael Clemens is bad at football. Sexuality has nothing to do with football.
Okay, Hurtis, I wasn't wrong. I'm not as perfect as you are. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Hurtis.
You know, I am sorry. I take that back. Is that enough, Hurtis? Do you accept my apologize, Hurtis? Maybe he's hurts his ass. That's his name. Hurts in his ass.
Mm.
So no. So do you think it was against the second string?
He accepts your apology. Hurtis just wrote it. He goes,
Oh, thank you, Hurtis. Thank you. Do you think it was against the second defense he played good?
Yeah, look, Tyrod Taylor, I think, is a very capable quarterback.
Yeah.
My concern with him is durability. I was a big fan of signing him in case Rodgers got hurt and he had to play 3 or 4 games. I was comfortable with him. If he's going to be the starter next year, you better have a legit other option that's competing with him because he's not making it through 16 or 17 games.
Well, you shocked the Giants scored 45 points yesterday?
Stunned. Yeah. How could you not be?
I was stunned out of my... Guess who quarterbacked that whole game? Drew Lock.
I know.
I said he should have started the beginning. Sit down, Daniel Jones, because he stinks. Now look where he is. He's going to the playoffs where our Giants stink as ass. They're going.
Daniel Jones is holding a clipboard. Who cares? He's not doing anything.
Well, he's probably going to be in the playoffs.
Well, he is in the playoffs, but he's not going to play. He's not even on the roster. He's on the practice squad.
Oh, good. Leave him there because that's what he could do. Like Bobby Boucher, he could be the water boy.
Yeah,
he's so dumb. I don't.
Have you ever been a water boy before?
Yeah, for the basketball team in Keene State College.
Really? Tell us more about this.
Well, they asked me to do it for a year, and I liked it. Yeah, I did like it. So.
How were you at the hydration? Were you good at it?
Yeah, they enjoyed it. Even Roach, the basketball player I used to cook breakfast and lunch for.
Wait, hold on a second. Who's this now? You used to cook breakfast and lunch for who?
His name is Roach. I cooked for all the basketball team. But Roach, he was a big guy, skinny guy. He had one big, huge omelet and cheese on it. And then for lunch, he would have 5 grilled cheese sandwiches a day, never gained weight. Do you ever hear this group called Third Base?
The group called Third Base?
Yeah, they're from New York, Third Base.
No, I'm not.
It's a rap group, and his brother was part of it, and he brought them up, and they had a concert up where we were up. So we had a good time. It was in I think it was the Maple Brown. That's where it was. Or the gym. I think it was in the gym.
Now, let me ask you something.
Mhm.
How did you start cooking for the basketball team? Like, how did they know you had this unique skill set in the first place?
Well, first of all, I didn't start there. I started in the dish room. I worked up.
Okay.
And then I cooked for like 4 more years after that until the new company came in, Mr. Marvel. He was no marvel to me. He said, Bobby, you know what we're going to do? We're going to drop you to a different kind of job. I said, no, I've been here 8 years. You just got your ass in the door. So goodbye. Slammed the door. Walked out. So, and my 2 other friends left too because they couldn't stand Marvel. Susan and Barbara. So us 3 left. Danny.
How old were you during this? You were in college?
No, I never went to college. My first job after high school, I worked there.
Wow.
I was like 18.
I'll tell you what.
Right up.
It sounds like you've had quite the career, Bobby. We might have to do a separate, episode in the off season where we just talk about the various jobs you've had in your life.
Yeah, I could tell you all the nursing homes. I love to work with the older people. They are the best.
You like the olds?
Yes, I understand. You could learn a lot from them. I mean, remember when we had Keith Best? I cried for him. He was the best.
Love Keith.
And I like Peter Castro. I like Neil sometimes. Neil drives me nuts, but I do like.
They're not that old. They're not old. I was talking about like people in like their 80s and 90s.
Yeah, well, that's 80s, 90s. I like too. Yeah, I like those.
I see.
Yeah, in nursing. Yep, I did that.
I do have this super chat here from one of your favorites, South End Auto Detailing. He says, "My birthday was yesterday. Bobby, will you sing for me?"
All right, I gotta do the new thing that Big Fella says. I'm gonna apologize to you. You can come back to my show if you want, and I'll sing to you. Okay? What's your real name? I'm not calling South Ass for the deal. What's your real name?
Wow, this is big news for those who aren't a regular viewer here.
Yes.
South Ass, aka South End Auto Detailing, has been banned from the Bobby Midnight program, and now Bobby is extending an olive branch to bring him back.
Yes. Big Fella talked to me. Everybody should get a second chance. This is your final chance, South Ass. When I tell you not to curse on my show, when there's a kid or a lady, do not curse. Okay, so what's your real name? Then you got to tell me your real name.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is...
Well, I've grown to love my buddy Alan, but South Ass has to go. I threw him off my show. Bobby!
All right.
Bobby!
Okay, you know why I kicked you off my show.
I know, buddy. It's all love. I'll be back. Can I wear my costume? Can I wear the Wayne costume?
The what?
The Wayne's World costume that I had on? Remember?
Yeah, that's right. The only thing I didn't like to you, I gave you 5 times not to curse in front of a kid, and you never shut up. That's why
I know, Bobby.
Okay, what's
Hey,
your
we
real
all
name?
need a second chance, My name is
Nicholas.
I was supposed to be born on Christmas, so my name is Nicholas.
Okay, I'll sing to you, but
Here we go.
Mike D's nuts. See if it says give you a second chance. So you're on thin ice though, buddy boy.
Bobby, my dog is sick too, so you got to be extra nice to me because my dog is sick.
Well, I'll be nice to the dog, not extra nice to you. You gotta get me. Where's your dog? I love your dog. I know your dog.
He's at the house. He got diagnosed with cancer, so we don't know how long, but
I love your dog.
Yeah.
I saw him taking a poop outside. Yeah. Okay, so put me on full screen. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay, for Nicholas. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Let's go.
Happy Nicholas. Happy birthday to you. And I didn't know it was birthday yesterday, but I hope you had a great day. How's that?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about, Bobby. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Made my
Yeah.
day.
Okay, next you gotta really behave on my show, or you're going out again. Okay, that's it.
You going live every day or what?
Yeah, I go after Jake's show today. I'm going live right now after he finishes the show.
What
Then
a great birthday present yesterday, huh? The Jets gave me. Fucking great birthday present, man.
Why, you won money?
No, they suck. They got my dad's a Bills fan, and we lose. You know, that's how we lose on my birthday. My dad didn't even come see me. He wanted to watch the game.
I thought you were betting on it. That's what they give me.
No, I don't really bet. I do safe.
Okay, but you have to behave yourself when you come on my show with kids, okay? I don't care if you curse any other time, but if you curse with kids around, and I tell you like once, that's it. Stop it, not 5 times, 6 times. I think you were very high that night, or you were taking something else, which made you like out of space. No, you more than a bomb hit. You were like out of space. You were floating out there somewhere. Okay.
I was looking for your house. I heard you lived out there.
I live in Vermont, knucklehead.
Is it nice out there? Go outside. It's beautiful out in New York, upstate New York.
54 degrees, yes.
Oh yeah.
So
All right,
Jake, I don't want
I'm
Go ahead,
we
Bobby.
had a meeting of the minds here. All right, we're all good. It's
Yeah. It's all love. All the love.
I'm just saying to you, don't be wise. I don't live
love it.
out of space either. So
I love it.
You're
All right, good
very-
job by South-Ass. Good job there.
yes, and me too. At least it's going to come back on my show.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm
You
saying he had to
shocked?
call in and he cleared the air with you. That's good. It's a good, nice
Well, I
step for you.
cleared the air with him. I told him what he did wrong. Yeah, I gave him 5
My,
chances.
my New Year's resolution for you, Bobby, is less people's butt on sticks in 2025. All right.
Well, I know Matt O'Ryan and my O'Leary's. There's nobody else that's sticking on sticks. So that's
Correct.
fine. Okay, done. Don't ever play that one again. It's over and done with.
Play what? This?
Well, you know, I need to find Matt O'Leary. He's supposed to come on my show. I want his butt on a stick. Bobby.
Yes, don't play that. It's wasp.
We're retiring it.
Retire that one in the South Pass, okay?
All right. Well, Bobby, we accomplished a lot today, and we'll do a future show where we cover extensively the many careers you've had. All right.
Yeah, I'll tell her. Yeah. Well, I have to keep my big mouth shut in some of them, so. You wouldn't know. Okay.
All right, Bobby.
So
You have a good day,
I'll
all
go
right?
on after live, and then when you go on live about 4 or 5, I'll stop and come to your show.
You got it.
Okay, well, see you later, everybody. Enjoy. See you later. Bye.
Bobby Midnight,
Love you.
everybody. What a call that was, huh? South End writes in, love y'all as maniacs. Thanks for the song, Bobby Butter. Love it. South Ass is back. Great to see. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line, hit the like button. Also, I keep saying it, no one's gifted a membership yet, but this is the final show if you want in on the raffle this afternoon for the 2 Super Bowl rings, replica rings, the jersey, Copper John's gift card, Gusbuster umbrella, Wayne Corbett rookie card, and a whole lot more. We might have 5 or 6 winners here. 270-something raffle tickets in here. Unreal. Biggest raffle we've ever done. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Purple Belt Mike, who called the show earlier when I was on the radio. Hello, Mike.
What's up? I'm playing the new Indiana Jones game. It's a lot of fun.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
The game is awesome. If anyone has an Xbox, you gotta play it. It's really fun. So next week I gotta do the clown show. So what time is that gonna be? Are you doing it directly after the game, or you have you're on radio?
Well, I'm on radio till 8 on Sunday. So if you want to do the clown show on the YouTube post game, I would say call in that night or do it Monday, 1 week from today.
Yeah, I think I'll do Monday. That way my wife can do the makeup for me.
I love it. That sounds good to me.
Yep. I'm gonna talk Jets where I was, but I'm so depressed that I don't even want to anymore. I'll just listen.
I mean, honestly, a loss like that, I'm already over it. I'm just numb to it. Like, I just, what is there to say? What is there to say? Like we're going to analyze it. Like, we know what this team needs to do. They got to hire a real head coach, a real general manager. That's the only way this ever changes.
I was in 3 fantasy football championships, lost them all. And then I was in a 3rd place, and I won that one. So at least I won that one for 3rd place. But
did you hear my rant on fantasy football people at the end of the show today?
I know. That made me laugh. That's why I said it.
Yeah, just the people that tell you about their fantasy team, nobody cares. You're almost as bad as the people that tell you about their March Madness brackets. Oh, I had this one in my other bracket. No. All right.
But
by the way,
Asmaniac League.
Well, I want to say this. For the Asmaniac tournament in March, Asmaniac Madness, you get one bracket, all right? The bracket of integrity. You don't get to fill out more than one. You get one bracket to fill out, and that's it. And it's going to be a real contest. Whoever gets the most correct will win a prize, and people in the chat will vote each show throughout March, throughout the month of March.
Do you have what games you're targeting for the Knicks yet, or it's just up in air right now?
I'm aiming for a Saturday game. We're eyeing a game maybe at the end of January. I'm supposed to hear back from one of my friends who does ticket sales for the Knicks today, so I will let you know.
Hell yeah! All right, I'm in.
Hell yeah! All right, Mike. Well, you hang in there, all right? Enjoy the Xbox. Give me a little Indiana Jones theme song here, all right? Let's go.
I don't know the theme song. I don't know.
Yeah, you do. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun. What do you mean? Yeah, you
that?
can. You're gonna dress up like a clown in a week. What are you doing?
No, I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. That's the best I can do.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, you've never seen the movies?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm very disappointed in Mike there. Come on. No Indiana Jones? What is this? Anyone see Nick Saban dress up as Indiana Jones on game day last week? And Shane Gillis roasted him for that? What do you call him? Alabama Jones? That was so funny. Dick Chimney's burner in on the raffle at the buzzer with a membership gifted. Hamburger really in on the raffle with a 5-spot. Hamburger, I always appreciate you, my man. Let's go. Hit the money sounder. All right, if you hear your name called, these were from Hamburger. Curly Norman, Frank West, Jason Alicia, Bijan Daneshavar, Mike Jets, Monica Alacron, and the membership from Dick Chimney is Joe Santamarina. By the way, speaking of Rich Samini, a.k.a. Dick Chimney, as this alludes to, Rich had to credit your boy for the Rex Ryan interview in his ESPN story that was out about Ron Rivera interviewing and Rex Ryan expected to interview. As said on ESPN New York. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know what we need right now. We need to wrap up the show with some heavy hitters on the line. So I present to you right now one of the all-time greats.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Jake.
What's up, David?
Well, I'd like to say I have my eye on the 2 gentlemen from March, Mr. Bobby and Mr. Lane Train. Very interesting people, big hearts, and they're bringing out the heavy artillery, believe me.
I love that, David. Well, I mean, we have some of the best callers. I mean, you're a big part of it, though. For someone who did not call in until November 20th, the fact that people are talking about you as a possible 1 seed I've seen in the chat in the tournament, I think speaks volumes on your impact.
I'm just happy to be part of the show. I love it. And yes, you are the best at what you do, and that's why I'm a devoted Asmaniac. So it's not a Jets question, but if I could just run through a little bit here to have a little fun. Let's say Alan is right about Mr. Brable going to New England, which I don't think is going to happen. I think we're going to end up with Mr. Brable. But let's just say that happens. And this game against the Dolphins, say the Jets have a good game and actually beat them, which I don't think is going to happen, the whole bit. But say Mike McDaniel gets fired. Now, I think he probably would pick up another head coaching job right away. But so say we don't get Brable, and a scenario is we bring in Rex, and you had said you're okay with Rex, but you would like to know the OC. Mike McDaniel as the OC, just for fun as a scenario.
So you're talking about Mike McDaniel as the OC, and then who did you say was the head coach?
Rex, sexy Rex.
I would freaking love that. I don't think the Dolphins are going to fire him, but that would be a pretty awesome coaching staff to me. If you told me you got Rex to run the defense and oversee it, McDaniel's in charge of the offense, yes, but I feel like that is too good to be true.
Yeah, I know, buddy. I don't think they're going to fire McDaniel either. But I also do not think Vrabel's going to end up in New England. So I'm still banking on that. But now's the time we can play general manager a little bit and have some fun.
David, I love when you have fun, man, because you get the chat going with your kind of fun.
Oh, hey, Jake, life is, as long as your family's healthy and, that all comes first and your friends and all that. To me, you can ask my old neighborhood buddies. It's all about having fun. We got to do what we got to do, but life, laughter is the best medicine.
I agree. I'm right there with you. Any big plans for New Year's, David? What is David T doing for the new year?
Well, actually, I have to work tomorrow. I work over in a restaurant, and I work 12 to 5. And so tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I'm coming home, and ever since I'm a kid, I'm a big Penn State fan. And they're on. I think they're on tomorrow. If I have my facts right, I think they're on tomorrow night at 7:30. So those will be my plans. And then New Year's, a traditional, from being up north, the pork and sauerkraut dinner. I'll probably end up over at my brother's house.
Love that. That sounds like a good night to me. I will root for Penn State just for you. All right.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, just like the Jets. I'm a Penn Stater ever since I'm a kid, and it comes from my father. He was a big Penn State fan.
Well, we are Penn State, a little Nittany Lions.
Yes, sir. Oh, me? We are Penn State. We are Penn State.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Shout out to David T. One of one. I almost went to Penn State. They were on the short list. I didn't go, though. Kyle Clifton opines, top 4 seeds, Cheats fan, Gormani, Lane, and Neil. There are so many callers that I don't know where you slot them. I don't envy the committee. I'm glad I'm not on it. I don't even know how you slot, how you rank some of these callers, man. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat saying Neil is MIA. No, Neil could still text me up a storm during every game. All right, more of your calls before we wrap. Before we do that, though, once again, last show to get in on the raffle this afternoon. If you're one of the 800-something people watching live right now, God bless you. Thank you for watching. More importantly, please subscribe to this damn channel. And if you haven't followed me on Twitter and Instagram yet, and TikTok, by the way, at Jake Asman on Instagram and Twitter. TikTok is at Jake Asman Show. Follow the show accounts, too, while you're there on Twitter and Instagram, and you'll see a ton of content coming your way there. Let's see. Let's get to more of your calls right now. Dirty's on the line. What's up, Dirty?
What's going on, Jake? So I had an idea. First of all, I did not know that Bobby was a hydration specialist. I had no idea.
Me neither.
I also did not know that he was a chef, and that is somebody that somebody may have to do a biography on. But
You're not wrong.
I had an idea for the
There should be a
GM
30
spot.
for 30 on Bobby.
There should. There really, really should. What if we collectively, and we're just throwing some ideas out there, what if we collectively took some of the best shows? We take a little Frank West, we took a little bit of Tyson Roush, we took a little of Prime Time, little Jake Asman, Ian from Jet Central, and Connor Long, because of working paper issues, he could be the nephew of one of these people. And we collectively put all these people in as the GM spot.
I mean, I think we might be able to do better than 30 and 64. That was Douglas's record, right?
I think, yeah. I think this is actually a better idea than what we've had in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Jets got to hire a real GM, a real coach, but I'm telling you, like, if you just like, I wouldn't even say they're just like us fans, like take Connor Rodgers. He's a Jet fan, does this podcast with Joe Caporoso, was on NBC, he's on SNY. You took his draft analysis and you followed his draft board. He would have a higher hit rate than Joe Douglas. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, no, it's true. I'll actually be. I actually just booked my. I booked it about a month ago. I booked my hotel and the flight to the to Indianapolis for the combine already.
Oh,
so
you're there. I you know what? Not confirmed yet. I was there last year and had a blast. And
it was
assuming
fun.
my radio schedule lets me go again, I will do my best to be there again. Yep, it's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't get to go last year, but the 2 years before that, we go. I get a lot of networking done. I met a lot of cool people. I've met McDaniels a couple times, Tomlin, Jerry Jones. Meet a lot of cool people. And actually, McDaniels, he's a funny dude. He's a very, very, very funny dude. I don't know if you ever got to meet him, but very calm, cool, collective, and he's around my age too. So I always tell him that, hey, you handle the press very, very well. He always throws out jokes.
He does. He's got to win games, though, man. I mean, he's going to get a pass this year with the Tua injury. I don't think he's going to be fired, but they're going to have to beat some good teams for once. They're terrible against winning record teams.
I'd say, yeah, they are. They can coast by. Like, what were they? 12 or they were like 9-4 at one point last year. And then when they started to play actual teams that mattered, teams that had a really good record, all of a sudden they crumbled. And it's not even just like by a field goal. They got blown out and they couldn't handle it. Now, I think this is the downfall of Tua. I think from this point on, you're going to see him start to decline, especially if Tyreek Hill, as soon as Tyreek Hill leaves that team, that's the end of Tua.
Well, think about it like this, though. Tua has missed, I saw this from a Dolphins reporter, I think he's missed on average 4.5 starts per year. He's at like 13 point something. Like, he's not reliable. And now he's paid like a top end quarterback. And if you're going to have Tua, you got to have like an elite backup. It can't be, Skylar Thompson or Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
Like, they honestly, they should have signed Tyrod Taylor. Like, he would have been perfect for them.
Yeah, or they should have kept Mike White. I mean, well, you had to pay him, but at the same time, like Mike White, you can fuck it and chuck it. You know what I mean? Like we've seen him do it. You know what I mean? With not even a good O-line. You know what I mean? And he threw for us over 300 yards. Like it's wild. It's wild to see that. But I mean, I'll say this: we got to get our heads out of our asses. That's the only thing. I mean, I listen. Look, I've listened to all the different, quarterback scenarios from all the different callers. Which, by the way, you have some of the best callers. Like that. That's why they're ranked, is because there's so many great calls. I wouldn't want to be on that committee board either, dude.
Hey, you're gonna be in the tournament, Dirty. You got a chance.
Yeah. You know what? Sure. I don't know. Sure. Why not? Just another wing at it. So, but no, look, this is the stupidest comment you'll probably ever hear, but whatever the Jets do, the Jets do. We're not going to be able to do that, right? Would I like to have a little bit of stability than what we've had the past couple of years with a better offensive line, with a better this, with a better, absolutely. All you can do is root for what they are presenting to us. That's all we could really do. Either you're on board or you're not. I love adversity. That's why I'm a Mets and a Jets fan. So let's go.
I get it, Dirty. I've dealt with enough adversity, though, being a fan of the Jets. All right. I'd like to see some winning. All right. We are clearly battle tested as Jet fans. We have paid our dues. All right. We had Aaron Rodgers for 4 plays last year. We have him for every snap this year, and we won 4 games. All right. We have paid our dues. It's enough. I can't take it anymore. All right. I'm going to stay on. We got more people on hold here. Comments, questions, super chats will, in fact, cut the line. But I have a million texts I have to answer, including one from Terry Collins, Met fans, who will be joining me tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning on radio to talk a little Mets baseball. So you're welcome, Met fans. So I got to handle that. And then we're going to come back to your calls. But I need a quick break right now because I'm just going to be straight up. I'm transparent on this program. All right. I have to pee straight up. All right. Just going to tell you what the deal is. I have to go to the bathroom. All right. I've had a lot of caffeine. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I want to continue the show because I love this show. But I got to go to the bathroom first, and then we'll come right back, and we'll get into more of your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, quick break, and we're back. Jake Asman here on YouTube. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Otherwise, I'm convinced you might be a communist.
Breaking sports news just in from the Jake Asman Show. When Jets YouTube legend, the great Green Bean, appeared on Jake's show, something happened that can only be described as another in a series of tragic and unfortunate events.
This person's called in under the name Green Bean. So let's go to Green Bean. He's next up on the Ghostbuster hotline. Green Bean, what do you got for us?
There he is. This is not my vape pen. This is an Apple TV remote. Hey, guys, Green Bean here. Are these Jets for real? I mean, will Denzel Mims be a difference maker this year? We'll get into all of that, but before we get started, I do want to remind you of those milk thumbs.
Bean, we gotta get going. Great Adventure has fireworks tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They have a new coaster there. Well, thanks, boys. I don't want you to forget to shave your balls with Manscaped. Promo code Jets Forever. Oh, shit, she started the mobile home. Stop, no, don't leave the counters outside the window. Or, honey, hold on, don't leave yet.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh my God.
Production value, Jake. That was good.
Every time we get a new Gator impersonation, the production value, the impersonation, it just gets better and better.
Yeah, well, that was actually my RV too. That was really my RV. That was good. That was my whole show. I mean, that was everything I do in the vape pen. I haven't vaped since April 1st, everybody. So, so there's that. But it's going to take a while for people to undo that visual. I always had a vape in my mouth for quite a long time. But I got to say, well done. And I would watch that guy's show.
That's the great Gator McCluskey there doing his thing.
Now, later that evening, during Green Bean's own show called Talking Jets, he was reminded of this horrific moment from Jake's show.
Gator McCluskey drops in. He says, "Is that the real Green Bean?"
Now, do you know why he's asking that?
That was a phenomenal video.
I was on with Jake and Gator.
I did see that.
Yeah,
I did see this.
I was impressed, man. He had my studio behind him. He had my real RV that drove away at the end. I mean, I was like, holy shit, man. Like, this is, he really did some work.
It's legit.
Yeah, he called in as Green Bean. He had my wife yelling at him about Great Adventure. Not my real wife. But that was good, man. So, yeah. No, I think that was the real Green Bean. I'm the imposter.
Well, the staff here at Gator Sports worked tirelessly to help repair this potential breach of the multiverse. But once again, we may have made things worse.
Yeah, I want it done now.
What a moment in time that was, huh? All right, comments, questions, super chats. I got some breaking news here for those who will tune in to me tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Terry Collins at 7:30, one of my favorite people who starred on my favorite TV show of all time, Entourage. Jerry Ferrara, a.k.a. Turtle from Entourage, will join me at 8:30 tomorrow. So I'm multitasking here. I'm doing a YouTube show, and I'm booking guests for the radio show tomorrow. It's all happening. More of your calls right now. I know what we need right now. Absolute chaos, absolute madness that could happen at any point when you bring this guy on. And I'm willing to do it. All right? I'm willing to take that risk because I believe in this guy, and I believe in his takes. Sing along, folks.
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just gonna rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
Gator, thank you for that. I had to get blood work today. Been up since 5. Yearly blood work. Bi-yearly blood work.
How do you feel?
Needed that. I'm feeling good. It's just like getting up. I'm not used to getting up at 5 anymore, so I'm tired. I'm used to just getting up around 6 or 7 every morning. So that extra hour of sleep is much needed. Just the blood work for the pre-diabetic stuff, testing for all that stuff, genetic stuff, all that stuff, because heart disease and a lot of stuff runs in the family.
I see. I'm glad you're
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, I'm good. It's just I was supposed to be at 200 pounds, and now I'm back at 225. At least I lost 25 pounds over the last few months.
You look good, honestly. I think Bobby should take a page out of your diet, Chiefs fan.
Well, here's the thing. Ever since I cut soda and drank almost 2 gallons of water a day, I went from 325 2 years ago to this. Like
2
I was drinking-
gallons of water a day you're drinking?
Yes.
How many times a day do you pee on average?
12 or more, probably.
Wow.
But I drink a lot of water because I was knocking back 2 or 3 2-liters a day about 3 years ago.
I see.
And I was on.
Are you still
heavy-
drinking milk?
Yeah, I do. I buy the blue cap, so it's easier on my cholesterol.
Of course.
Also tastes better when you cook with it than the red one.
Did you
'Cause the
say
red one
butter?
has- I said better, but I got to lay
Butter?
off the. Go for it, Jake. Go for it.
Like with Gary, like that kind of butter?
Go for it. Do it. You know you want-
What's up, Chiefs fan?
Yo,
I drink 2 gallons of water. I try to drink about 2 gallons of water a day. I don't always hit my
yeah.
goal, but I try to drink 2 gallons of water a day. It's
Yeah,
good.
and I try to cut soda. Like the only time I had soda was during the November season because they had a Sprite Zero Sugar on sale. So
yeah,
I stocked up on that. But
That's good.
Good seeing you, Gary.
Good seeing you too.
Good luck in the playoffs. I know my team plays tonight.
Who's your
Mizzou.
team?
Mizzou.
Mizzou play. Mizzou plays.
Yeah, Mizzou
Iowa.
plays. Yeah, Mizzou. Yeah.
Yeah, in the
Good luck.
Jerko
Good
Special
luck.
Bowl. So you beefing with Allen? Allen's a big Iowa fan.
I mean, let the best team win. I really hope we win. I really want I would love to see either Oregon and Texas or I would love to see Oregon and Texas face off next week.
I
or
think
something
Ohio
like that.
State's going to win. I think Ohio State might win the whole thing. Like I'm either Ohio State or Notre Dame.
I have friends who are Notre Dame fans, but I have friends who are also Texas Tech and Texas and Texas A&M, whatever how you pronounce that. But I would love to see. I would love to see Texas versus Notre Dame, so we could just see how many bandwagon fans jump on your team and someone else's team.
Ton of bandwagon fans on both. Because
I know you're not, but like all these.
Notre Dame fans are like New York Yankee fans, and there's a lot of crossover. Like they come out just when the team is good. Like it happens all the time. I can't stand it. I hate Notre Dame.
My friend. Jesus Christ, shit. My friend's been a Notre Dame fan since he was like 15, and now he's
Excuse me.
What Gary seems to not understand is when I'm playing the butter clips nonstop, it's move on to a different topic. Good God, man.
My bad.
No one cares about Notre Dame, Gary. Anyway, I brought you on to talk about butter with Chiefs fan. Anyway, Chiefs fan, let's get back to your life. What else you got for us?
Good. I've been doing real good. I'm gonna be staying home tomorrow. Other than going to that Mexican buffet, there's a new one opening up in town. Well, after the remodel, I consider a remodel a new reopening.
Of course.
Like, if you guys watch Bob's Burgers, the reopening in the skit as in the intro. But gonna go try their buffet. They usually do the buffet only on weekends, but it's New Year's Eve, so they're gonna bring the buffet back for Tuesday, and they're also gonna bring it back for on Wednesday when the New Year hits. I plan on actually not staying up until midnight for once. I plan on going to bed early, so when the first hits, I could get to the store faster and come back home because I need to restock on some things in my freezer, mainly the healthy choice ones. The reason why I've been losing so much weight is like, you know, those healthy choice steamer meals that you microwave, Jake?
Sure.
Instead of eating a burger every 3 days or stuffing my face with pizza or something greasy, I just have those once a day for dinner. That's another reason why I've lost 25 pounds. That and I haven't had a Dorito or a Frito in about 6 months.
Wow, no Dorito or Frito. What
Well,
about a
actually,
Cheeto?
no. Frito in 6 months, Dorito in 3 months.
What about a Cheeto?
No. I hate eating them, but I usually do Triscuits for a snack or Chex Mix because it's less sodium and less cholesterol. Because my cholesterol levels about 3 years ago was a 50-year-old man. Now I got it manageable back down to like a 40-year-old man.
I see.
Because during COVID, I was constantly knocking back tacos and pizzas every few days. But
a Cheeto, a Frito. Did you cover Doritos?
Yeah, I haven't had Doritos in about 3
Okay.
months.
Yeah, because Curly wrote, "What about Doritos?" But I'm pretty sure you said Doritos and Fritos.
I'm trying to cut all that stuff. I'm trying to go back on the leaner stuff. Like if I want a snack, grab some Chex Mix or some Triscuits. The only thing that I need to also cut back on, you know, those rolls of pepperoni they sell at the store from the deli.
Sure.
I literally hand them $50 for a fresh made roll of pepperoni from New York. I just get the whole entire roll. I need to cut back on that. I eat one of those rolls a month, and that's a lot of cholesterol and a lot of sodium.
I'll tell you what, Cheats fan. Continue success with the diet. You have a wonderful New Year's Eve.
I will. One last thing before I go. How funny would it be if you guys ruined the Dolphins playoff hopes? I'm hoping you guys do. I'm hoping you guys do it. Before I go, here's my picks for the playoffs to make it in. I want the Bengals to make it in as a 7th seed. I want the Seahawks to make it in so my friends aren't depressed during playoff season. I want the Packers to lose so Washington can get the 6th seed. And that's it.
Well, Cheats fan, you said a lot. Thank you as always.
Peace.
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just going to rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
I just got a text from my uncle who's watching the Benigno interview on delay. Joe reaction to Ron Rivera, peed my pants. Michael Clemens reaction, runner up. For those tuning in for Benigno, he was on for the first 40 minutes of the show, as he is every week. Go back and rewind. Unreal. All right. We're over 2 hours here after I did 4 hours of radio, so I'm a little tired. I need some caffeine in me. So we'll do one last call here, unless anyone else calls in that we think we need to hear from today. But ladies and gentlemen, you saw him just before. We'll go back to him right now. SEAL Team 75, assemble.
The Clapping Seals, they're alive and well in the chat. This was quite a show today. Your pops, Papa Asman, wanted me to call in, so I don't want to disappoint. I wasn't going to call in, but Papa Asman wanted me to call in, so here I am. The guy Steve Asman in the chat, that's your actual dad. That's not some guy trolling as your dad, correct?
My dad's name is Jim.
Zach's your brother, right?
Yeah.
Your dad is Steve Asman, yeah?
No, Jim Asman.
I think you're trolling me. I'm 90% certain, but I think your dad's name is Steve. I think. I have a
Jimmy,
Ghostbuster
Jimbo,
umbrella. I keep it in my
Jimmaroo.
wife's car. She loves it. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
No,
Good
no,
product.
that is my dad. I am just trolling you, yes.
He's doing a great job with the umbrellas. My wife has one in her car. I got her one before last fall when it gets rainy. It's
Oh,
good.
I love that.
It's good product.
Ghostbuster.com,
And it was
baby.
affordable. I thought it was going to be like 3 times the price that it actually was. It was affordably priced.
Well,
Excellent
it's
job.
cheaper. It's cheaper when you use promo code Jake.
You save 10%.
15.
15%.
Yeah.
15%. You gonna give Terry Collins a fluff interview, or are you gonna bring up Game 5 and Matt Harvey? You got to bring it up, Joe. You can't let him come on and not press him on it.
Why would I ask him about something that happened 10 years ago when he's now an analyst on SNY, and we're going to talk about the current state of affairs with both the New York teams?
He blew the World Series, Jake.
He didn't blow the World Series. You know, I'm not even a Met fan, and I know there's no chance that you were saying, yeah, take Matt Harvey out of the game. There's
Everyone,
no way.
it was the same thing when the Red Sox put Pedro back in for the 8th.
It was not even close to the same thing.
He was
Matt Harvey,
clearly done.
He was not clearly done. What was he pitching, a shutout going into the ninth
I
inning?
think there was a 1 or 2. I think it was a 1-hitter. Yeah, but there
So
was a reason why
Pedro-
Terry Collins.
No, Pedro had already given up like 2 or 3 runs at that point when he went out for the 8th inning. It's not even comparable.
It's not only comparable. It's literally exactly the same thing.
No,
When he
it's
sent
not.
him back out for
No,
the 9th. I was like, this is Pedro
Dude,
Martinez over. You're gonna blow the game.
every Met fan at City Field that night was chanting for Harvey to come out there and start the 9th inning. You got to be kidding me.
You want to take a poll of Met fans and say how many of them wanted? You had the best closer in baseball at the time. He did his job. Great job. Sit down, Harvey.
Stop
Thank
it.
you.
Stop it.
Awesome
And guess
job.
what?
We'll
And
see
guess
you again
what?
in
If
Game 7.
Familia came in and blew it like he did the other games in that series, you'd be crucifying Terry Collins for not letting his ace finish the job. So you can't.
No,
win.
I'm the one. I say Dan Smith, the one that brought you there. Familia was your closer. He was an excellent closer all season. I think he was an all-star that year, if I remember
Dude, you were
correctly.
the king of
He was your
hindsight.
closer.
It is unreal.
It's
You're
not
just-
hindsight. Every Met fan was like, "What are you doing?"
I
What are you
watched that
doing?
game with a bunch of Met fans. There's no way. There's no way. My best. I'm the best man at my friend Dan's wedding. He's as big of a Met fan as anyone I know in my life. He wanted Harvey out there.
I was watching the game too, and everyone was like, "It was a foregone conclusion."
Did you
they were
see?
gonna
No,
go
it
Familia.
wasn't.
Like,
The whole
it
crowd was
the
chanting for
most
Harvey to
obvious
come
thing in
back
the
out
world.
there. What?
He's already over 100 pitches. He pitched great. We have the best closer in baseball. We're up 2-0. Just close the game out. See you in Game 6, and see Harvey again out of the bullpen in Game 7.
I can't debate Game 5 of the 2015 World Series with you. All right. So if you have a football point or anything else, please, for the love of God, get to
All
it.
right. I got a couple things. First, Bobby inferring that Michael Clemens is a homosexual is an keeper. That needs to be chopped up and as a soundbite and saved forever. Second, Chief Shan, drinking 2 gallons of water a day is excellent. Pepperoni. I mean, it's not the best meat to eat, but you can do a lot worse than pepperoni. And cholesterol, don't worry about cholesterol. Every cell in your body is made up of composed of cholesterol. Don't worry about it. Like this idea that cholesterol is bad for you is insane. Like your testosterone is made of cholesterol. Your entire immune system is dependent upon cholesterol. It's just an insane. I don't know where this came from, but don't worry about cholesterol unless you're walking around with a cholesterol level of like 400. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
Rick Kent says this is getting old. If you've lost Rick Kent, you've lost America. You've lost the Asmaniacs.
What's getting old?
You're getting old. Your nonsense about being
not
right
that
about
young
everything
anymore.
dietary, this, that. Matt Harvey now. I can't take it anymore. Brock Bauer.
He's a big Met fan. Ask him if he wanted Harvey back in for the 9th. No one wanted Harvey back. It was a foregone conclusion he wasn't going to come back in the 9th.
50,000 people at Citi Field wanted Matt Harvey to come out for the 9th. They went nuts when he started the inning.
Rick Kent is a reasonable person. He's a fairly intelligent guy.
All that you talk about is the carnivore diet. It's boring.
What am I talking about more on this call? Terry Collins and
Rick Kent wanted Harvey to stay in the game. I'm telling you.
The nonsense. No one wanted him in the game. It made no sense to keep him in the game. He did
They
his
all
job.
did.
Great
I
job.
watched
You're
Oh,
done.
God. I can't. I will not be asking Terry Collins about this tomorrow. All right. It's 10 years ago.
That's crazy. It's been 10 years.
Sco's another Met fan. He wanted Harvey to stay in the game. They all did.
Sco was like 5 years old when that happened. How old was Sco when that happened?
I don't know, man. Kill me. Tom Ace right there. Gary also knew the South was going to lose at Gettysburg to the North.
This is wild to me because, like, first of all, who said it was over? That's one. And two, you people really call it the Civil War. You really call it that.
Okay, now you've gotten my attention. What is your take on the Civil War, Gary? Go ahead.
The War of Northern Aggression.
So you won't call it the Civil War?
I can't believe that you actually call it that. You really like in textbooks. That's what you guys up north call
That's
it.
what it's called.
Crazy.
It's literally called the Civil
War
War
of Northern Aggression. You lived in Texas for 5 years. That's what it's called. It's called the War of Northern Aggression.
No, it's called the Civil War.
You don't want to be friends anymore? Let's start a war that kills 600,000 people. Like, it's insane.
You lead the universe in the worst takes, but this one is this is maybe the new number one. You don't refer to the Civil War as the Civil War. You call it
to the War of Northern Aggression as the Civil War.
No, I refer to the war that took place in the 1860s.
Yeah,
between the North and the South when the United States of America separated during that time. I refer to that as the Civil War. Yes, I do.
I refer to that as the War of Northern Aggression.
God,
because that's what it's called. I refer to you as Jake because that's your name.
Is
Jacob.
this a real?
I refer to that as the War of Northern. Is this a real conversation? What is civil about a war that kills 600,000 people?
I mean, look, this is incredible. You are incredible. How did someone marry you? How did you father two children?
My wife also calls it the War of Northern Aggression. My children, the one that speaks, calls it the War of Northern Aggression. In schools, they call it the War of Northern Aggression. Like, that's what it's called.
That's not what Civil War even means, by the way. Like, oh my God.
Okay,
it's a war between civilians. That, like, Curly's right.
Well, I understand what the war means. It's a war between civilians.
You can't believe this is real.
We don't want to be a part of your country anymore. We're out, so it's not really civil anymore, is it?
You don't actually. This has got to be your just latest. Let me just stir the pot. Ted, master's
you don't actually call. I know you do. The war is called the War of Northern Aggression. That's the name of the war.
In school, it's the Civil War. Everyone
in school, it's the War of Northern Aggression.
No, it's not. What school? The school of I'm an idiot.
Every school I've ever seen in the South. It's called the War of Northern Aggression. That's what it's called.
Dude, there's no way that's what it's referred to as. I lived in Texas
that's
for
what
6
it's referred
years.
To.
No, it's not.
That's what
it's not a thing.
To. Yes, it's absolutely a thing. That's 100% a thing.
I just, there's no way this is real.
I don't know what, like, that's what that war that you referred to as the Civil War is referred to. The War of Northern Aggression. That's what it's called.
I mean,
I don't know how else to further explain it. That's what it's called.
Jet Life, how much to get Gary a timeout? First person to get 5 memberships, done. You can't be real with this.
I can't believe that that's what you people refer to it as. It's shocking to me.
So you're teaching your kids it's not the Civil War, it's the War of Northern Aggression. That's what you're calling
You
it?
could say that the War of Northern Aggression was a civil war by definition. You could do that. Like, it's definitionally a civil war. It's civilian. You could teach, but the name of the war is the War of Northern Aggression.
Kyle Clifton says, I got to hand it to Gary. He's committed to being demented.
Okay. I don't. That's fine. Yeah, that's what the horse calls.
Even for you, Gary, you have truly outdone yourself.
I mean, that's what the war is called. You could say it was a civil war. That would be definitionally correct, but that's not what you call it.
Ted has invited you to become a professor at TED-U.
I'm happy to teach your students about the War of Northern Aggression. I mean, I'm not expert on it. I wasn't a history buff, but
dude, Tom Ace is on fire. Gary also told General Cornwallis not to take the U.S. militia lightly. It's great. God, I can't. Gator says this is what happens when you remove the corn rolls.
Rose. Corn Rose.
Yeah. God. So do you consider yourself a Confederate or an American then?
I'm a Texan. I'm just a Texan, Jake. I'm just a Texan.
So are you not an American?
I'm an American. I have an American passport, but I'm a Texan. If you say where you're from, I say Texas. Like if we were at some international event where everyone was from different countries and they said, "Where are you from?" I would say Texas. Yeah. I'm an American. I have an American passport. I love America. America's a great country. It has like a 1,200-mile border with Texas or something like that. America's a great country.
Weren't you born in New York?
I was.
Gary,
I lived in New York for about half my life. I lived there the first 10 years and then like another 10 years in the middle.
You know what? Bravo, Gary. Even for you, you found a way to reach a new level of take I didn't think was possible today.
Yeah, I'm not the only one. Like, I mean, look, appeal to consensus isn't an argument, but I'm certainly not the only one that calls it this. Like, there are millions and millions of Southerners who all refer to it as the War of Northern Aggression. That's what
Gary,
it's called in school.
I lived in Texas for 6 years. This is not a thing. It's just not. It's the Civil War. I've never heard anyone ever refer to it as the War of Northern Aggression.
I don't even know how to respond. Yes, you have.
No, I have not.
That's cap. There's no way you've never heard it. You lived in Texas for 6 years and never heard it referred to as that. If you lived in New York your whole life, I would believe that you've never. I would believe it. Like, as crazy as that sounds, I would believe you've never heard it referred to as that. But you absolutely. I'm not the first person who's called it this. Like, you've heard it called that before.
Never change, Gary. Never change.
All right, be good, Jake. Yeah, it's really. Oh yeah, you got 800. We're 4 and 12. You got 800 people watching you live. Jet fans are the best fans. They really are. You guys never change. You guys are the best fan base in sports. Really. Are you shocked that 4 and 12 with 1 week left in the season, after that performance, you have 800 people watching you live? I mean, are you truly like shocked, like surprised?
Here's the thing, right? It's part the Jets because this fan base, as I continue to say, is the best in sports. It's also people like you that make this show what the show is. You know, it's part Jet show, part, Howard Stern-esque whack-packy, so that's kind of what it's become. But
and that started off as a compliment, and then you just called me the whack pack of how, like, Beetlejuice and Hank the Angry Dwarf. Like, it wasn't a borderline.
You're denying the Civil War being called. Thank you, Gary.
Plants are trying to kill me, so I think I'll eat a stick of butter. You can do music.
Good God. I didn't think Gary would be a Civil War denier, but that's what we have here. Anyway, all right. That was going to be the last call, but we can't end on that. So let me bring on somebody else who is known to aggravate me at times. JJ is up next. Hello, JJ.
All right, I got one hand on my controller because I'm playing FIFA. I didn't think you were going to go to me this early.
You're the last call.
Oh, well, awesome. Well, I just wanted to call and say that, it's this show's fault and the people in the chat on this show's fault that we sucked this bad this year, because all you guys did, when I look back at this season, is overrate a lot of these players, overrate the coaching staff, overrate the general manager. You got guys like Dre calling in this show daily during the offseason talking about how Joe Douglas is the greatest GM in Jets history. And I would combat that by saying his record, he has the most losingest record in Jets history. And everybody would say, oh, context matters. At the end of the day, man, going forward with this team, I want everyone to do me a favor. Stop being so optimistic when we're looking at crap with our own eyes. Like, believe your eyes. Like, if we would have fired Robert Saleh, and yeah, I know hindsight is 2020, but if we would have just fired Robert Saleh last year, there's so many great candidates that are doing well in the NFL right now that we could have had our hands on. Right? Like, I remember calling into the show and saying, yo, Dan Quinn, like, we should fire Robert Saleh and try to get Dan Quinn. And I got laughed at. And people said,
I didn't want to do that. You're 100. JJ, you are 1,000% correct. If we could do it over, yeah, they would have fired Saleh at the end of last year. I was wrong about Saleh. I thought he deserved the chance this year because I was impressed with them winning 7 games last year with Zach Wilson.
I still just don't understand why we were, like, so impressed with him. I mean, and even the people who believe that he shouldn't have got fired after 3 games, I think that it was a justified firing. I don't regret it at all. I'm glad Woody Johnson did it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because in the very first game of the season, we got blown out. And if you remember in the summertime, I kept telling you, I said, hey, listen, if we lose that first game, I'm gonna be pissed, because anytime he has ample amount of time to prepare for a team, we do worse. We look the worst that we've ever looked. And we had a whole offseason to prepare for the San Francisco 49ers. And I also kept telling you guys that, hey, the San Francisco 49ers are probably not going to be very good, because we always see it. A team that goes to the Super Bowl and loses usually doesn't make it back to the playoffs the very next year. And what have we seen with San Francisco? And we got the doors blown off of us in that game. And everyone's like, oh.
But JJ, they then won 2 in a row after that. They were 2-1. The time to fire the coach is not
but the two games that we won. The 2 games that we won, right? If we look at Tennessee game, I went to the Tennessee game. I was ecstatic. I was happier than anybody when we won in Tennessee, because it made my night great. I had a great time in Tennessee and Nashville. But if you watch that game again, we did not look like a prepared, well-coached team.
We know,
so,
JJ. We know. I get it. Like, do we?
Okay, I know you're asking, what's the point of me bringing all this up? The point of me bringing all this up is next year, right? We're going to be in a similar predicament where we're going to have a new coaching staff. We're going to have some new players, and I just hope
their first game, you're going to call in and say they should fire that guy. Is that what you're telling me? You called in 30 minutes of my off-season free agent stream, demanding a big splash. 30 minutes into free agency, you got to show a little patience with whoever they end up hiring a coach and GM.
Patience. We had patience with this regime for the whole entire time.
JJ, I get it, but I'm saying week 1 next year, if the Jets go out there and go 3-and-out on the opening drive, I don't need you saying fire Vrabel, fire Flores, fire. Like,
No, because the expectations are going to be different next year. This year, the expectations, right? We had high expectations. So when you go into the first game of the season, and you want to be a Super Bowl team, right? And you're playing a Super Bowl, the last year's Super Bowl loser, and you want to be a Super Bowl team, and you go out there and you get the doors blown off you, right? And all offseason we were saying, hey, just give this head coach a quarterback and look what he does. And then this is what he puts up. Throughout the 5 games that we played, I mean, the teams that we lost to, the Denver Broncos, probably aren't going to make the playoffs. They most likely won't make the playoffs. The other team that we lost to, the Minnesota Vikings, that's a good team. And then you have the San Francisco 49ers. We were only able to get 2 wins, and then everyone's like, oh, we shouldn't have fired Robert Saleh. Nothing would have changed if we kept Robert Saleh on the season. If we would have kept Robert Saleh, we're not making the playoffs this year. So the overwhelming point that I'm trying to make here is that next year, let's not just overrate everybody. Let's not just have this love affair with everybody for no reason. You got guys saying that we want Aaron Rodgers back because Aaron Rodgers is going to give us the best chance to win next year. He's going to be the best option. That's not true. There are plenty of options out there that will give us a better chance to win, in my opinion, than Aaron Rodgers. For example, if we hire a good head coach and get in a good offensive staff, like what we just witnessed in the Washington Commanders or prior year with C.J. Stroud with Houston Texans, you have Jaden Daniels leading his team to the playoffs this year. He's a rookie. But what does he have around him? He has a good coaching staff and good weapons. You have C.J. Stroud, back-to-back years. It looks like he's going to win his division and take his team to the playoffs. It's possible. So if you draft a guy like Cam Ward or a guy like Jalen Milroe, they can get into the NFL and do some good things with good coaching. And there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I won't touch Jalen Milroe or Cam Ward with a 6-foot pole. You guys were the same ones who were saying the same things about Jaden Daniels. Oh, I won't touch Jaden Daniels. He's too small. He's not going to last in the NFL. Like, it's idiotic to me. There's good quarterbacks in this draft that you can draft and put a good head coach and a good offensive staff around them, and they can do something better than what this 41-year-old washed-up quarterback has put together. And I'm not trying to insult him because I don't like him. I'm just insulting him because if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers, we would have fired Saleh in the offseason. We never would have brought in Nathaniel Hackett. We never would have brought in Alan Lazard or Tim Boyle or all these other people.
JJ, you are the king of I told you so and revision.
It's not a I told you so. It's learn from the mistakes. You guys don't want to learn.
But what do you mean learn from the mistakes? They had no choice. The reason why they brought in Aaron Rodgers is because they drafted Zach Wilson and missed on him. The other options that offseason stunk. Rodgers was the right move. He got hurt 4 plays in last year. That ruined everything.
Can I ask you one question?
God, what?
Would you be okay with Aaron Rodgers coming back next year?
No, I don't want him back next year. I do not want him.
Okay, then. So let's all as a fan base come together and stop this. Run it back next year. Oh, if the head coach wants Aaron Rodgers back, then we're okay. No, we do not, as a fan base, want Aaron Rodgers back next year. Let's get together and make it super known. See, the reason that they brought back Robert Saleh is because a lot of people wanted.
No, JJ, let the new regime decide that. Like, if Mike Vrabel's like, I really want Rodgers back, and he takes a pay cut,
then he's not my coach. Then he's not my coach.
Well, guess what? I don't want your opinion. I don't want them to listen to my opinion. I want Woody to hire a GM and coach that he believes in and let them do their job. And I will deal with whatever decision
if
they
Vrabel
make.
thinks that if Vrabel thinks he can win with this version of Aaron Rodgers next year, then clearly he hasn't learned from his mistakes with Ryan Tannehill, and he does not need to be a head coach in this league. Okay, Ryan Tannehill had some good years with him, but when it was time to move on from Ryan Tannehill, he didn't. He stuck with them a little bit too long, to the point where Ryan Tannehill got injured. We're not doing this with Aaron Rodgers. I don't care who the coach is next year. Aaron Rodgers we need to move off from him. Get you a Cam Ward or a Jalen Milroe or even a Shedeur Sanders if we can get them. Those are three quality quarterbacks that can do some damage in this league. There's no reason to stick with, or even if you want to go and get like a Justin Fields, a young, Justin Fields or somebody like that who has some potential. Look at Sam Darnold. I was wrong about Sam Darnold. I thought Sam Darnold stank, and everybody kept saying, oh, he just needs some weapons around him. Okay, well, clearly he just needs some weapons around him. So we can look at Justin Fields and say the same thing. He didn't really have weapons.
It's coaching too.
Yeah, coaching too. Yeah, I agree. Kevin O'Connell is a damn good coach. He should be the coach of the year. I agree with that. But it starts with the coaching. But if you get a coach who wants to run it back with Aaron Rodgers, and clearly he did not watch our film from this year. And it's so annoying that every single time Aaron Rodgers throws a bad pass or he throws an interception, it's always the receiver's fault. Oh, Kenny Yeboah should have did this and he did that instead. Or, oh, the tackle should have hit him in his stomach so he didn't throw his arms up and I wouldn't have thrown another interception. Like, he just makes excuse after excuse. Let's move on from him. Let's learn from our mistakes. Stop with the Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan is not a good head coach. Look at his record. Stop.
Jake, I told you so. Remember my take 7 months ago when I said that thing that happened? I was totally right, and you were wrong. Say my name, bitch. Say my name.
I can't take it with the I told you so. We get it. All right, enough. All right, I'm not doing the revisionist history on the Aaron Rodgers move. It was the right move. It didn't work. All right? I don't believe that Rodgers is going to be back next year. I have zero regrets about them getting him. What screwed everything up was him getting hurt 4 plays in. That's why Saleh has a job. That's why Douglas had a job. They got mulligans. In hindsight, knowing what we know, it was a mistake. For you to sit here and say, though, that you had no issue with them firing the head coach 5 games in, that's asinine, JJ. Asinine. Whether you think Saleh is a good coach or not, that was a bad decision. I could have saw it happening at 2-5 if they lost to Buffalo and then Pittsburgh, but man. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is here next year, though, so you don't have to worry about that. But I want the next GM and coach to decide what the plan is. Stop blaming the fans for being excited about this year's team. Fans are going to be fans. The Jets shouldn't listen to fans. They should listen to their football people. That's why they're employed. If Leon Rose listened to the fans, the Knicks would not have traded R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly and would not have been able to get OG Anunoby. If Leon Rose listened to the fans, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo would still be on this team right now, and the Knicks wouldn't have Karl Anthony Towns. Like, you listen to the fans, you're going to be sitting with the fans. The Jets need football people that can lead, who know what they're doing. That's it. Hennessy says, didn't JJ have us winning 12 games before the season started? He knew the coach, the GM, and who the quarterback was. I don't know how many games JJ had them winning, but I can tell you this. I don't blame any Jet fan who was excited about this year. They won 7 games last year and now have had Aaron Rodgers play every game this year. And he's missed 0 snaps due to injury. If I told a Jet fan at the beginning of the year, I'll give you 2 choices. You're betting your life on it. Are the Jets more likely 4-12 or 12-4 through 16 games if I tell you that Aaron does not miss 1 game, does not miss 1 snap due to injury all year? What's the Jet record? None of you, even the most Debbie Downer Jet fan, the most negative Jet fan in the world, would not have said 4-12. Think about that. So I hate the revisionist history. It's so annoying. Big fellow, Ron Rivera, LOL, make it stop. JJ, no damn way we should draft Milroe. Pray for Stefanski to get fired, if not Vrabel or Flores. Stefanski, number one, if he's available, 100%. Look, if the Jets drafted Jalen Milroe, I'm good with that. I don't want it to be in the top 10. If they traded back in round 1 and did it, or round 2, sign me up. I just don't want any rookie playing right away. All right, 2.5-hour show. Thank you to Joe who came on. Once again, I'm on ESPN New York tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. If you see that Rex Ryan story about him getting an interview, that's because I spoke with Rex this morning on the radio, and that made the rounds. So hopefully everyone enjoys that conversation. You can listen to the Rex interview on the DiPietro and Rothenberg podcast. We will have a show later this afternoon. Andrew Fialco is going to join us, so stay tuned for that. I want to thank everyone again for their support. Thanks to all the calls. We could not have done it without you. My name is Jake Asman. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will talk to you guys in a few short hours. I end the show with a message for all. Happy New Year. Happy holidays, and JETS. Jets.
And I just saw a big fella's tweet. So I'm 5'11", 180 pounds, and I wear a large. And you're telling me he's got me by 100 pounds, and he only wears an extra large?
Gary, what do you care about what the fuck I'm wearing, bro?
Look, I'm a man of logic and reason. I'm 5'11", 180. I wear a large. You're 6'5".
Why does this guy care about what I'm wearing? It makes no sense. Why do you care?
You don't watch Curb Your Enthusiasm and someone says something like suspicious to Larry to kind of give him that look like, okay.
How is this suspicious, bro? What are you talking
about? 6'4", 280. That's a big fella.
Dude, if I wore a 2X, it would be baggy on me because my body is different. Okay, not everybody's built the same.
I understand, but if you're 6'4", 280, that ain't all in your legs, bro. 6'4", 280 is a big boy.
I don't know why you give a shit what I look like. You got me a little upset right now, man.
I didn't mean to get you upset, big fella.
Gary, why do you make fun of Big Fella and his shirt? Maybe you're a weird person, a weird guy. Oh, wiggle, beagle, deagle, deagle.
Disgusting franchise that masquerades themselves as an NFL football team. I hate this team. I hate them. I hate them.